the mustard guy.
Actually, we had Chick-fil-A sauce on it, so it was great.
That I don't mind.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A sauce is next level.
You know what's weird? I've had the sauce. I've never eaten at Chick-fil-A.
The Chick-fil-A sauce, we had that on our chicken. Oh yeah, Dara wanted to know what we had last night, so that's what it was. Yeah, it was fried chicken. Their cornflakes was the batter kind of thing with the fry, and then yeah, they're not heavy. It's fried in avocado oil and stuff like that, so it's not too bad. And then side of sweet potato fries and a chickpea salad. I love chickpeas. Oh boy. I love chickpeas.
Good for you. Get that protein in there.
Joe's
like, I told you about chickpeas.
Joe is the best, man. I mean,
because nobody knows about chickpeas at all.
No. Joe told me about that for sure, and Joe told me about wrestling as well. Like I never heard of Stone Cold before, so
who?
Shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, I only grew up in the Stone Cold era, the Attitude Era. So yeah, I've never heard of Shawn Michaels as well. Or my wife's favorite is not Undertaker, but
Road Dogg.
Road Dogg and Jesse James.
Who's that dude?
And all of that.
Shoot.
So as they typically do on the midday show, Sharif and Joe, they look at each other and they're like, oh, these guys owe us 2 minutes and all this kind of stuff. So there it is, man, repaid right back at you. There, you guys. And of course, if we just added up all the early times that we're on for the Fed, then it would be a moot point. But
exactly.
Of course, we're not doing that because
we're not petty that
we're all friendly around here.
Now we are.
Of course. So, all right, man, good show today. Well, there we go. Are you long QBTS, Joe? No. Okay. So, all right. We will get the position board figured out hopefully sooner rather than later. For us, that's Neil. I'm Sean. We'll catch you on the flip side. Ciao for now.
It was a good try. I thought it was going to be right.
Oh, greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy, Joey Opsh. I'm Sharif, and it is, I think it might be. Let's not get carried away, but it might be one of those days today. There's a lot of small cap running. You saw the big boys. They were alerting us to them, and we're going to be alerting you to them, as well as you to us, of course. But before we do all that, let's say hello to El Jefe.
Oh.
Hello, fellas. Pixie Ninja. Oh, there's a lot of new names here. I like that. Motivate You Forever.
Oh.
Stephen Broadley, Farhan Bear Bull. He's both. He goes long and short. We got Speed Wobbles and Steve City. These are a lot of new names. We got Nguyen Po and Shrimpin' Pat. Durant Gordon, Tiff. He's joining us in the house as well as Timothy Hypercube. Fly. Eagles fly, bro. I'm not gonna, can't be doing that. I did that for you once, I think. Hangry Wife's in the house. Shout out to Derek Thompson, Too Rich Granny, Travman. We got Hong Kong 25. Hey, Joe Sharif, forgot about you. Are you kidding me, bro? I'm talking to my boy all the time. Bing Cutoff. We got Ray Boss, Florida, and Arsend. I thought that was Arsenal, man. You got me pumped. Cars RV. We got Steve City, Juan Padilla, who's throwing the eggs in there. Blocked.
Oh.
Steven, Next Gen, Transcend, kidding. Byron Bravo and King Clutch. Shout out to Chief, Big Toe 1, and Smoked. Not smoked, but smoked. One more, Joey, before we send it off to you. We got Charlie, got it, you got it, you got it big.
Oh.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. VinFast reported strong Q2 momentum, delivering more than 70,000 EVs globally, up 96% year over year.
96?
First half deliveries reached nearly 129,000 vehicles, up 78%, reinforcing the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. By mid-year, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W delivery targets, putting the company firmly on track across growth engines. VinFast today.
Both growth engines.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah,
I mean,
both of them.
they got electric engines.
We don't want to forget. Yeah, exactly. We want to make sure we include. Listen, oh man, this is the missed op. We were short NVDA via NVDL right here at 35.80s all the way to the downside. So yeah, that was the missed one of the day. I said, hey, VWAP, we're getting out of dodge on that one, and then QBTS has been eliminated off that list because it's been a frustrating one. Neo was shorted as well too. We tried earlier in the day in the money, and then as soon as it cracked that high, I'm like, I'm out of dodge. then the second one worked out for us, and then this, as it just continued to move a little bit higher, I'm just like, you know what, let's just get out of here on this one and not mess around with the name that's continuously grinding higher. So yeah, I mean, this 1W here, and then the missed opportunity on NVDL. So yeah, a little bit quieter of a one. I had to ran into some technical difficulties this morning, so didn't get to do the prep that I would have liked to, but that's neither here nor there. So hey, advanced money devices right here, advanced micro devices, NVDA and SpaceX. So that's what we have on our radar, as SpaceX has definitely been the hot topic of the session.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of expecting the opposite. And maybe the fact that I was expecting the opposite should have told me that it would be up 2.5% on the day. Because I think everybody was expecting the opposite, right? Almost a billion shares unlocked today.
Dumping.
Yeah, 900 and change. Like, I mean, the market probably priced that in, as it typically does everything, right? But Ozan, yup, trading in the balcony, looking at the ocean. We're going to block you, Ozan.
The ocean.
Okay, we don't have an ocean here. We don't have an Ozan here. Yeah, but I know, sorry, Tiff, my bad. But yeah, man, Ozan, you know, he's not just in his investment property in the beautiful city of Destin, Florida, but now he's using it himself. And he's dunking on us, right? He's telling us he's trading off his balcony. He's up big on the day. I think he took SanDisk and APP. No, of course, we would never block you. Ozan, are you kidding me, man?
Go back to trading on the balcony.
That'd be nice, Joe.
That was a good day, too. Yeah, Alibaba earnings. Remember when I sent you when I was in Jamaica? Alibaba earnings. Ooh,
this guy, man, I never forget that. I almost blocked him, too, right?
Oh.
Like, my God, this guy's... I know. Well, Sia, I mean, like, we were over here, and he's just enjoying his life there in Jamaica. Like, what am I supposed to make of that? The jealousy was just oozing at me. All right, guys, let's get down to work. Look, Gosman is breaking down. It is Kevin Gosman. We're going to call G-A-U-Z. We're going to call it Kevin Gosman today. It's losing VWAP, Katina, man. It's breaking down here. It's about to hit 60 pennies. We thought this one was going to be breaking above the dollar. 97 pennies and change. It looked fantastic, right? Multiple halter. Look at it bleed its own blood down into 56. There isn't a bit to be had here on Kevin Gosman. Unlike, of course, the real Kevin Gosman, which did get a bid from the Cubs over there. So GAUZ we're going to have to steer clear of. But Bovin alerted me to PN. So let's look at what Bovin is seeing here on PN. Just one sec. Let's bring that down. There it is. So here is PN. I'll throw in the ticker there, sorry, so everybody can follow along. And this is a good recovery. So Bovin was alerting me to the fact that it was taking out that 9 1/3, 9 1/4 where VWAP is. But Bovin, it's still putting in lower highs, and that's what concerns me. So I get into this 10 1/4, which was obviously the opening print of this red candle, which lost VWAP. So I'd like to see the reclaim of trend. I know by definition that gives me a worse price, but that's something that I'm willing to put up with. So I'll have to wait here until PN sets up a bit better. But as you can see, we got 8 decent ones here on the screen. Now, I do like the look of CEL's jib over here, right around $1.30. And the reason I say that is because to me, CELZ was basically a flat top break, either at 1 1/3 or 1 1/4, whatever. And it came back in and it tested that same area. So look at this topping till candle at 8 a.m., the high of which is 137. Lo and behold, the current bar low right at 137. I'm positive that's just a coincidence. It has nothing to do with technical analysis. So what I want to do is I want to possibly get in here on CELZ with maybe a stop below 1 1/4, so I allow it to breathe a little bit, and then maybe, just maybe, we can catch a bid into that $2 area. So let's go ahead and load up CELZ, which we have already got here on a trading screen. So we're going to punch into CELZ, and we're going to go 1, 2, 4 into 115 as our out with the view of adding into this 1 1/3. I'm getting in at 140s. That's markedly higher than the 1 1/3, the 1 1/4 that I was just pontificating about as a prior area of resistance. So it behooves me to add into the position until we get close to my stop. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go 133 for the add, and we're going to go 126 for the other add here. And we'll look to defend that key area of technical support. But I also have to alert you here to a resurgence of WYHG It just ripped up off that $15 area into 19. It's a 1985 high. It's showing me 1905s now. It's pretty spready. It's 6 pennies now, 9, 11, 21. It keeps changing. But here comes the high of day. On WYHG, it has been a multiple halter from what I can see already on the chart. 1, 2, up, 1 down, another few up. So yeah, this is going to be all over the map here. So we got to definitely keep an eye here on WYHG. I had PAYS. I thought it was going to bring me some money, Joey, because the name was Pays, right? So you never really know if that's going to actually jump. WYHG on the NQ. There we go. Now we got it. Thank you, Katina, man. So we are halted to the upside on WYHG. Halt price 1944. Halt time 11/11/14. The tap is already at $20, and here we go again. This one looks like it's him, her, and everything else. We're going to keep an eye here on WYHG, Joey.
Okay, listen, yeah, guys, trust me, I'm not long QBTS from 2055. The position board has just been a little wonky. I don't know how many times I had to say it in the chat. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times I had to say it in the chat that we were. PN?
Yeah, PN is ripping, Joey.
PN, all right, I don't even have
Bovin
PN.
called it out.
PN Nasdaq right there, 1.9 million shares. Looking at the high of the day break. Bovin, my guy, thank you.
Bovin's
yeah, we'll pull that
already,
one up,
bro.
man. Yeah, PN, let's get that one up.
Got it, Bovin.
Yeah, all right, man. Let's keep our eyes on it. Keep the eyes on the tape. Listen, this is what I was talking about, so pay attention. Joe is long QBTS. All right, man. Whatever floats your little boat there, my guy. Let's see what we got. Let's keep our eyes on the tape.
Okay.
Now, once it really starts to accelerate and pick up, I think this can give us a good chance and a good opportunity for a trade here. Now, we want to see the reversal within the price action. So with that being said, let's get ready. We're on the Nasdaq. Slight pullback here. Now, what we're going to be looking for is that, remember, we've been going over this past couple of sessions, is that strong. There it is. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. That's exactly what we were looking for, my boy. Now, do we have another wave? There it is. Continue. Need some form of continuation. There it goes. There it goes. Bang. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. We'll take that nice little scope. I didn't get the full fill. Oh, okay. The spread is a little wide on this one. 10 cents at that peak. But this is, see, listen, when you focus on it, you'll be able to get involved, and it just tanks City. I'm glad that we got out of it. But the momentum is via the tape, right? Let's see if we can go back far enough to see. But as soon as it kicked in, I'm like, all right, let's rock and roll and see if we can get this move here through the high of the day. $11 break, boom, all the way almost up into $11.50, but it failed. Still says I'm long QBTS, not the narrative. We were long PN for a couple of seconds there, in and out, just like that. No In-N-Out burger around here.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't got that around here.
In-N-Out?
Yeah, In-N-Out.
I don't really think they have it on the East Coast in the States, do they? It's almost a, I could be wrong. I think it's a West Coast thing.
Yeah.
It is. Say that again, Katina, man? I'm not sure if it is West Coast. It is West Coast.
It's a West Coast thing?
Katina, man, confirm it.
All right.
I personally haven't seen it on the East Coast. I could be wrong, but our great American friends and viewers in the chat can enlighten us if it is available on the West Coast.
In-N-Out definitely out on the West Coast.
I know it's on the West Coast. I'm just saying on the East Coast, though. Like I don't see it in New York or Boston or anything like that. Katina man just got from Boston. You didn't see any out there in Boston. Boston, did you?
I mean, Boston. You need Trader Joe's over there.
You know that? Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, he said Trader Joe's.
Remember, I told you about the Trader Joe's
Not
when
many.
there in Boston. But Shake Shack, yeah, we have a Shake Shack here. Never been. Probably won't be. But
Get it.
let's go over to the desk.
Oh. Shake.
We can debate this later. Let's take a look at Microsoft now. MSFT falling a little bit here on reports that it's removing 32 GB of RAM recommendations for Windows 11 as it is now prioritizing optimization for 8 GB and 16 GB systems. References also to the 32 GB systems have been removed from its Learning Center articles. And MSFT is planning memory footprint improvements for key features and apps by the year end that would quote unquote benefit all users.
Very much. Sia, what do you think about In-N-Out?
I've never had an In-N-Out.
No?
No, because I've been to the U.S. once in New York, and that's it.
Yeah, and they don't have it on the East Coast.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Fair enough there. I think you'll like it. They got this burger, and you do the burger called Animal Style. And, I like that.
What's in it?
It's kind of crazy. I think I'll have to double check. But it's what I asked for when I go. Stopped out of PN Bovin. It lost 10.5, so it's trying to get into an entry position here on PN. It stops me out. Keeping an eye here on the 5-second chart. It's bleeding its own blood down into $10. Watch out for that. While one trade does badly, the other trade does okay for now. CELZ holding that key area of technical support that I was speaking about, which is, that 133, 125 area. I'm talking about $0.33 to the $0.25, but there's a seller of note here at 50 that we can't shake. Protein style. Shallowy. Okay, I like you, Shallowy, or however you say your name. Yeah, man, of course we're looking for protein style, my guy.
Protein.
So what I'm looking for here is the holding of the technical level. I don't expect it to rocket up every single time it moves into the $1.50, but I'd like to see a closing print on CELZ above that 150. For now, we only have a few wicks. As the short sellers and or the profit takers mosey on into this at the $0.50 to be expected. WYHG still halted. This is what? Look at that. Am I going crazy here? Why is it telling me 1944 halt time?
That says price.
Yeah. Oh my God. I thought that was time.
That's you're good. Go.
11:14. So this one will be a 10-minute halt, man. Earliest open 11:21:14 on WYHG. So we'll keep tabs on that. And that's basically all I've got at the moment. I'm going to keep my eye here on PN because it did find some support at the volume weighted average price right around, I want to say 9 2/3. But I'm going to wait for that to flip here on the 5-second chart to kind of catch the bit to the high side. So waiting for WYHG to open, keeping an eye on CELZ, and definitely keeping an eye here on PN. Let's go to Sia. Whoa, what happened?
Let's take a look here at WMT Walmart here. Fell a little bit on this news. So it's testing new guidance for carts used in stores to collect items for online orders. This followed someone that I don't want to mention being hit by one of them. So some person got hit by this, and because of that, Walmart is testing new guidance for carts that is used in stores to collect items for online orders. And Walmart stock did fall a bit on this. It seems like it's recovering a little bit.
Thank you very much, Sia. Continuing to watch. There goes CELZ through the $0.50. We're taking prints here. We got 43s. We just wet the beak at 54s. But let me tell you something. We're not out of the woods at all. I want to see a bigger move above 160. The closing print on that topping tail candle around 160. So we need to certainly see a little bit more to rest a bit easier. We'll see exactly what we get on this one. So those are the two that I'm watching at the moment, Joey, because PN is still hanging at VWAP. I'm just waiting for the open on WYHG. By the way, we need to update you on the theoretical auction price, the tap, showing 20.01. I think I saw it at 20 last time. Ozan, I by mistake put one more zero to the end of the order, and now I have a ton of APP. Save me. Katina, man, he's going to need you to punch in, brother. He needs you to save him. I don't have that kind of buying power. Shout out to the Katina, man. Barranquilla, thanks, Longs, CELZ. We also have, who else in the chat? Tisha saying the same thing. I'm seeing nothing else with volume. I agree with that. Zion, wow, Sharif. I liked how you analyze CLZ. Follow your strategy. Love it. Thanks, brother. I hope you absolutely kill it on your trade. Let me know how it goes, Zion, one of the OGs there in the chat, brother.
All right, man. Yeah, I was just looking at Walmart here. I mean, listen, this name typically what it does from an IG standpoint. It's going to probably chop around for a little bit. I mean, from a daily, you can see that it sold off, but yeah, it's not doing much. So, to be honest with you. And that's kind of the narrative of it. I was looking at Costco and some of the other staples, just in case we have somewhat of a rotation out of tech into these names. Here's Costco. I don't think that's correct, though. Yeah, it is, which is still approximately 13% off the highs. And Walmart got hit pretty heavy. I mean, from a PE standpoint, it's been expensive. Now maybe it's a little bit cheaper, but other than that, Walmart might take an additional leg lower, to be honest with you. The longer this consolidation happens without us breaking and curling over this resistance zone at 112.70, I think there might be a little bit more downside. PN did break down as well too, so a nice scalp out, and then it's been straight to the downside after that point, Sharif, on this name. So we'll keep an eye on CELZ to see if this wants to get rolling again to the top side.
Top side?
Yeah.
Just looking at
it still says I'm long QBTS. That's not the case. But anyways, yeah, man. I mean, a quiet one. See what Gorev's got going on. I'm waiting for 215 on NVDA to buy some more. Throughout earlier in the week, I was continuously buying more and more and more. And then it went up to this, had this pop all the way up to 224. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? No, I'm not going to chase it. Even though I do believe we're in the time where we're going to head for the all-time highs, right? Like just due to the pace that it's moving at, expect an inside day and a little bit of a pullback because you had 4 straight sessions where you're just moving higher and higher and higher. So really, now you're only 8%. With this path, it's just a matter, I don't think it's if, just when, to be honest with you. So 217, a couple more points. We'll zoom out actually and head over to the 15-minute because I think it's key to look at the structure. So this will put you at 217. The lower end of the range is around 214. So that's where we're going to place an order at. And if it breaks down more, then guess what? We buy a little bit more as well too down there. But if it bases out and we can find a long, by all means, from an intraday perspective, we will look to enter that one as the Nasdaq isn't performing too bad. Now, as for the SPY a little bit weaker. With that being said, you have to look at the second and third largest sectors. I think the banks are a little bit weak here today. Yeah, a lot of red across the board on the banks, Sharif. And then also healthcare not performing the best either, with Oscar Health down 10%, UNH, CVS, Novo, and Lilly barely positive respectively. So let's see if we can get a nice little entry here on NVDA.
All right, guys, quick reminder, Trader TV Live members get mine, Sharif's daily morning research note every single morning that I'm here. We're talking about the big market stories, the technical levels, and everything that we are watching into the open. Guys, it is only $4.99 a month, and you also get members-only videos. You get members-only posts, custom emojis, and loyalty badges. So hit the join below this video to become a member now, and you get a lot of stuff with it, guys, a lot of technical levels. It really does help you plan your day, so make sure you're getting that every single day. Thank you for everybody who has joined and who has supported so far. More to come on that. All right, so I'm in WYHG here. I see a lot of support at 19. It's failing right now, but I'm willing to build my position into 19 here. We have a triple bottom on the 5-second chart right around 1892. So it's 1893, 1893, 1895. So almost a triple bottom there. So let's see if we can hold up at that general 19 level. But I'm looking for a bigger move above 22. Huge seller at 21. They killed him, Joe. Here we go again into the high of the frickin' day. 23 incoming. Give me my money. All right, let's go. We got 2167. Let's see if we can get 2169. The answer is yes to that. Boom. We're looking for 23.25 now, okay? We're going to go 23.25. Let's see if it fails. Right back down it goes. So a little bit of a move down. I don't mind adding into 21. 21 local area support here. So holding, watching. Let's see. Oh, I got out of, okay, so I got out of my position. All right, so I've exhausted my share. So now I want to see if I can get a little bit more. Let's see what that 21 does. Watching, looking for that buyer to step in at around 21 or 21 and a half, 21 and a third now showing up. Let's see if the bid starts moving back up, or are we going to make a higher low here, because the area low here is 2074. So if we fail 2074, that'll be a lower low, at least on the micro time frame, and that puts, oh, here comes 2063 options, man. At least momentarily, we did dip down below the area low. So let's see if we bounce back up. It looks like we are a little bit here. See if we can kind of make a bigger move back up into that 2292 high a day. I was thinking about 23s here. So 21 generally holds, but it has a lower low. So I don't want to get in if it has a lower low. I don't think that's the right move. So continuing to watch. Here we go. That just took out area high. Let's get back in. Let's see if we can get a move up a little bit higher here, Joey. We got 31s on. We're going to put some higher orders in the 22s.
I like it, man. Yeah, so we're long here, some NVDA. Let's see if we get a bounce. I mean, our risk to reward's pretty good on this one. So we'll look for a move higher back to the top end of this range. We're 54s, a strong bounce. And then, yeah, I got my eyes on WHG as well, dude. There it goes, man. Nice look. Man, this thing's moving pretty fast and furious.
I love it, Joey.
So, yeah, this is what we want for those momentum-style trades. Oh, wow, almost $2 just like that on this bad boy, WYHG. Cooking up an absolute storm. I had my eyes on it here.
Limit up.
Limit up, says Sharif. We'll
42's limit up, guys. 42. Here we go. We're in the halt perimeter, 23.42 limit up. We're in the halt. We got 22.31. We're looking for a halt here. We need 4 or 5 more seconds at this level. Rip City. It's Rip City. Let's go. Oh, false halt options, man. A little bit higher, 23.72. 23.69 now, limit up. Watch for a flush or a move up here. This could be super dangerous. Watching. Nope, we're going to hold here, Joey.
Okay.
23.69, Ozan. Limit up. We need another 10 seconds at this level so the halt perimeter reinitiates. So we got to hang. We're holding. Let's see. We get boom into the halt. Hopefully we don't gap down. See ya.
Hold on.
Oh, my bad.
No, yeah, before we go over there, so this is the entry, right? So we waited for that. You're not wrong, Micron Millionaire. That's a nice little pop. We'll take it. You can see it's just 10, but coming right back in, I might have to head over to this Momo. See, the difference is reading the tape, right? There's so much volume stepping in these names that when you're trading the small caps, you can identify the momentum a lot clearer. Unlike this, there's so much transactions, there's so much volume stepping in that it makes it significantly more difficult. This isn't momentum style trades. You're placing bets on the fact that hey, I believe that this underlying is going to go higher, not necessarily moving with speed and vigor. Let's go over.
Said vigor, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at NXST. Nexstar Media had a huge volume spike and an uptick here. So U.S. Federal Communications Commission has voted to rescind rule barring local broadcast station owners from reaching more than 39% of the total numbers of U.S. TV households. The ticker NXST has had a huge volume spike. Right now it's trading around the $196 region.
Thank you so much for that, Sia. And I want to shout out Tisha Perkins.
Why?
Her cousin.
What's her cousin?
Misty.
Misty's
Shout
in the
out
chat.
to Misty, man.
She's in the chat.
She's in the chat. She's a first-time viewer, Joey. And Tish is trying to, be a good cousin. She's trying to get her into trading these small caps with us. She's always done crypto. Joe, tell her to come to the green side.
To the green side.
Because
well,
you're
I'm
a
not
crypto guy, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a crypto guy. I trade whatever makes money, to be honest with you. I think you need to adapt that mentality. Yeah, good luck, side quest. I hope that works out for you, my boy. Because right now, it's not going to. I'll tell you that for free. But anyways, aside from that, listen, trade whatever you are comfortable with. Also step outside of those comfortable zones. But whatever you're in sync with, just roll with it, man. Roll with the punches, to be honest with you, and just try to adapt as much as possible. I think that's something really important to note.
My man.
Yeah. So
Joey, can I just update them on the top, if that's all right? We're showing a $24 top right now. I saw it at 25 moments ago. So let's see how this cookie crumbles. The halt price is $23.69. The halt time is 11:26:23. So the earliest open will be 11:31:23. Let's see how this goes. We're still showing a 24 top. While we do that, we're now building a position here into CELZ. I'm going to put a beak wetter at 40s and then 45s. Look, this may hold, it may not. All right? And I'm building the position with a view to that if it goes against me, I don't get decimated. All right? So CELZ, it's a downtrend. I'm taking a risk by buying at this key area of technical support. If the technical support fails, then, my trade will fail here. So let's find out exactly how this goes. But I want to also alert you guys to the fact that Kevin Gosman is back up here, and he's ripping into 75, 72.5. GAUZ up 191%, has made its way back above the volume-weighted average price, back above the 10 exponential moving average. And I don't know how this cookie is going to crumble, but we're going to keep a close eye on it here, let you know exactly what we do. So right now, I don't think it's substantially above VWAP for me to feel comfortable that it's reclaimed the level, but we're going to pack the patience over here. So, Joey, we got another about minute or so before WYHG opens.
Side quest. You're going to be on a lot more side quests at this point, my guy. There it is. I'm telling you, you're going to be doing a lot of sidestepping, that's for sure. But there it goes, bang, NVDA. We're struggling at 3470s. I'm going to be taking a little bit off here, to be honest with you. I'm going to take half, just because we are chopping. And I would have liked to have broke through that level already. So we'll roll with half of our position. If it comes back to a break even, then so be it. But if we break 2470, then off to the races we can go on this one. But guys, it's your favorite segment of the day. We are going to send it over to our boy, Juan and Adara.
The European markets just closed. But what did they do today? Here to discuss what looks like a mostly green session for European markets is Juan.
Thank you, Adara. Yes, huge rebound in Europe as sentiment improving on strong corporate earnings as well as easing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. We take a look at the stocks here, 600 up by 0.38%, scaling new all-time peaks because of all these awesome Q2 earnings reports. A lot of beats across media, telecom, as well as the defense sector. Over in Germany, some of the big names that made huge moves overnight was Deutsche Telekom. They rose over 7% on strong results, as well as expanded their 2026 buyback by 3 billion euros, up by 5 billion euros now. On the downside, Rheinmetall slid by nearly 6% after trimming their 2026 sales outlook due to a cancelled frigate program, despite them having a 70% spike in Q2 sales. If we take a look at France, they're extending their winning streak to 6 days consecutively. Luxury stocks leading the gains today, rebounding from yesterday's losses. We saw Hermes up by about 4.5%, Kering up by 2.5%, Louis Vuitton also up by more than 1%. On the economic front, their construction PMI rose to a 5-month high to 41.5 in July, and that was from a previous month of 38.2. And over in the UK, the only red I see today, marginally lower by 0.07%. They had the house builders Persimmon surging by about 4%, stronger earnings, of course, and a higher 2026 home completion target of about 12,500 homes being built. Pharmaceutical giants, they caught a bid, AstraZeneca, GSK, each gaining by about 1% each, boosting the index in the UK. However, precious metals as well as mining stocks, they are leading the decliners, while oil majors pretty much remain flat, especially as crude oil stabilize. One of the biggest news coming out of Europe is data for Eurozone, LSEG data showing that the stock 600 aggregate Q2 profit growth projections surged by 21% year over year, and that's from a May forecast of 12.5%. And what's to come, of course, tomorrow we've got those big macroeconomic data coming in. Markets going to be positioning themselves ahead of the US monthly jobs reports. A balanced reading will reinforce some soft landing expectations in the Europe region, while a hot or weak print could destabilize the US dollar as well as the euro global currency trade, as well as some fixed income yields. So that to come tomorrow.
Let's look out for in Europe. You can also look at this space at 3:30 p.m. for an update with Juan on the Asian markets. Back to the midday.
Excellent information from Juan, as always. Guys,
let's go.
There goes WYHG. Boom! We take it almost at the high of the day, man. 26.17. I got 25.88s. Big move up here on WYHG, but as the moves go, it giveth and it taketh away. And now we are down halted options, man, into $22.22. And the top, it's not much better. It's $21 right now. So let's watch. Even if 21 was to come in, believe it or not, it would still be holding trend generally. It would have failed prior bar low. So in the kind of micro sense, it would break trend in that regard. But the $20 area, to me anyway, is an area of import. And let me explain why. At least let me give you my opinion as to why. Once, twice, Obi, he is the one thrice, could not break 20. So 20, a key area of technical resistance. It's also going to be a key area of psychological resistance. And if that wasn't enough, yes, the 10 EMA on the 5 is now also right at $20. And WYHG has been quite respectful of said trend line on the day. So let's watch. All right. If it fails $20, I don't get in. I don't touch it until I see another technical level. To me, that's about 14.25 to 15. We'll see. But for now, I don't do anything other than just wait for resumption and kind of figure out what's next. Now, while I tell you about that, let me also tell you about this. Kevin Gosman over here, GAUZ. If it does take out, I think, 77.5, which is the high of the 11 a.m. candle, I mosey on back into GAUZ for maybe a move into $1. So I'm continuing to watch that one as well. I am about 2 or 3 pennies out of the money on CELZ. I'm not liking this trade anymore. And I was telling somebody in the chat, if this loses 24, I'm out. I had a dip trade here at 26, which went unfilled. The low of this candle was 27s. So it missed me by a little bit, which is kind of annoying. But I want to point out on the 1-minute chart, we are an unbroken downtrend. To break the downtrend, we got to get into about 41s or 42s. Because look, that's a local area high. Area high, fail. Area high, fail. We got to get above prior area high to resume the uptrend. We're not doing that. So I'm running thin here on patience with CELs. I am, bro. Well, bouncing back up, says Nguyen Po.
That makes 2 of us today, my boy. That's how it be some days. Some days you have an abundance of it. Some days you
with respect to this. I'm running out of patience, Joey, because it's a downtrend. Why would I keep chasing after you see what I'm saying? Like, no, we got to cut the L, right?
You got the shorts on too. What do you got? I know I've seen them. It's like a chicken pasta, or chicken pasta. All right, we'll take it. We'll take it for what it is. All right, soft shell. Big love coming our way here. I've seen your show grow like crazy over the years. Adara and Joe, such great addiciones. Yes, thank you, soft shell, very much so. We'll keep rocking and rolling and doing our thing as a collective unit here. But other than that, man, let's see what else we can get. SideQuest, did you take the short because it had a better risk to reward? Well, I mean, I wouldn't know about risk to reward, but it did move a little bit lower, right? So here it is. We get in at 54s. We take half off exactly like we said we were going to, and then we move, and then we get out right at the break even. Takes a little bit of a dive to the south side. So, hey, 215 incoming. You're playing soccer?
Must be playing soccer.
Why? Because the soft side?
No, because you said it took a dive.
Oh, took a dive. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's your thing.
Okay, yeah. I see what you got going. A little Italian soccer going on here. Serie A. If you guys know Serie A.
Goodness, he's not here, bro.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, sorry, Katina, man.
Yeah,
but anyways, aside from that, guys, let's head over. Listen, Ozan has been saying he's been pounding the table about some of the options level here on NVDA. Listen, brother, if there's something up here at 223.50s, then I'll give credit where credit is due. All right, so I like having, no, don't do that. How do I change this? Configure layout, no, I hate that. All right, anyways, I'll figure it out. So 222, I like it. Man. You're out of that? Yeah, get out of that.
Wasting my time, wasting my mental energy. WYHG's open.
You don't want to do that.
Joey, 25.30 limit up. We're showing 24s, 24.5 here. General seller at the $0.50. There it goes. Into 20. Guys, this one's not done, man. I think it's about to take out highs again. 25.30, though, limit up. Big seller at around 24.50. He keeps showing up again. And when you see the ask move above the key technical level, your eyes got to move immediately to the bid because the spread does open up. And when it opens up, sometimes it makes it look like you've taken out the seller, say at the $0.50, but the bid hasn't moved up. But there it goes, options, man. 26.15 limit up now. 26.17 is the high of the day. All right, so we're pretty close here. I can't see the limit, 26.15. Still limit up. All right, it's still zigging and zagging. Joey, this candle here has a lower high, than the prior candle. So I'm a little concerned about punching in here. Now, it does have a higher low. By the same token, but doesn't have, so it's engulfed. Essentially, the prior candle has engulfed this current candle, which is green at the moment, but it feels a little indecisive. It keeps dropping into 24s and 23s. So Nothing for me to do here. I'm not jumping in unless I see a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I have to work on this options chain. It's not showing me all the strike prices. 225 jumps to 2. All right, 2.5. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be nothing there, but Jose, and I see where you got 220. There's a little bit of size, and then there's some size here. I hate scrolling down to go up in numbers. I want to scroll up, so I forget how I switch that. I'll figure it out later. It's not really important at this given moment. Hey, listen, are you going to get involved with these names once again? The momentum is cooled down, most definitely, if you ask me. What we've seen over the past couple of days, and then yesterday was pretty sideways and choppy, if you ask me, in the Nasdaq and the SPY. So with that being said, maybe we try another attempt at 34.40 if it comes back into that level. All right, so we'll head over to our watch list, my new watch list that I had to create here today. Yeah, I know.
You guys should have seen him, man. He was not having it in the morning.
Well, I mean, yeah, hey, man, it's
I don't
all
blame
right.
you.
What we do, Sharif, there's no problem that can't be solved.
Of course.
So here it is. We got a couple of things figured out. It may take a little bit longer than what we're expecting, but a mixed bag. Financials weak, SPY weak. All right, so you can see the correlation between the two. Second heaviest weighted sector. Everything is red here today. Down 0.5%. JPM down. Visa. Why we got Visa on the TSE? Get that garbage out of here. We got a
CDR.
Yeah, but.
Yeah. It's gotta be. Yeah.
The thing, I was gonna say this to. So I was trying to make a couple of transactions via JPM because I own JPM, the CDR, but I can't buy anything in the pre or the post market. So that's a major
on TSX.
Issue. Yeah, so that's a major issue.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did you change your order?
Yeah, I did everything. Like I put in everything.
You put in, allow to fill in pre-market and everything?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, TD doesn't allow you to do that.
Oh, you're punching it on TD?
TD,
yeah,
right,
yeah, that's what I'm doing now too, because I told you he's accused of misfire on my TD.
It's such a rip-off, man. Like $10 a transaction.
I only buy like once or twice a month though.
That's all you can do. Otherwise,
right?
you'll get destroyed with fees with that. Our boy Chester's in the building as well.
Chester.
What's up, Chester? Good morning. I think he's tapped in. He's locked in right now.
He's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
I like people with good dispositions. Chester has an excellent disposition.
He's a solid individual right there to the left of us, Chester. Got us the pizza last week, pineapple pizza.
He did it especially for Neil too, and Neil didn't even have any.
For that. We could thank Sharif for that for sure. Okay, so a lot of people are pounding the table about ADSK Autodesk right now. Ooh. It's not even doing anything. It's pretty illiquid if you ask me. You can see from a volume standpoint, we're running into big time liquidity issues. So I'm not in love with Autodesk right now. Datadog took a hefty hit this morning, but then just been moving sideways. QBTS and Unity were another names that reported before the open, and sure enough, there it goes. A nice recovery here in Unity.
Man, I love that Chappelle episode because that's a Charlie Murphy episode. That's why. I mean, it's like one of the best, I think, episodes in all of Chappelle's show, right? Unity. All right, Mark, we're going to go to see it in 1 second. Mark, 9670, dropped 5 beauties in the chat. We thank him for that. Hey, Joe, Sharif, it's been a while. Hope all has been well. What are your thoughts on NTRA? Thinking about getting into it. Say less, my man. We're going to look at NTRA. I see it. Is it breaking or do I have a moment here? All right, we're going to cover that for you as soon as we get back.
Take a look at the market. SPY currently falling right now. You have reports that the U.S. is targeting under the new Cuba-related sanctions that include individuals in China as well as in Russia. The U.S. is targeting under new Cuba-related sanctions that include individuals in China and Russia. And while we're on the topic, let's take a look at Tesla as well. Elon Musk making some comments here, saying that my very approximate guess is that Terafab AI compute output would be 25% for Tesla Optimus and 75% for AI spacecraft. So that's that as well. I'm just going to check levels for SpaceX and what's doing. Yeah, absolutely nothing right now.
Thank you very much for that. See, I just got into a new position here on PN. What a rip here, Bovin. In the high, it's taking out orders. 1176 limit up now on PN. Let's see what we can get on this one. We don't have a good price. Just full disclosure, I got in super late. I didn't want to get into this one because I was negative on it. But the breakout is on. New high day, 1148. We can't shake the sellers at the $0.50. I've already put in my stop. Let's see if we can squeeze up a little bit more here. 1194 limit up. The sellers keep coming in at the third to half. They killed him, Joey, into 11 2/3. We're looking for more options, man. Boom, into the freaking high. There we go, 1194. 1194 limit up. Let's see if it can halt up here, okay? I want to pack the patience. 85 showing up, looking for a little bit more here. Not too many in the way of shares on this one, so it's not a big win. But, oh, I thought we had that. It didn't cross, though. There it is.
And it went.
Boom! 1228 limit up. Go, PN, go. It is a small cap world, guys. It has been this way now for a week and a half. There goes PN into limit up, 1228. We need another 10 seconds at this level. What a move up here. Get it, Bovin. Good trade on that one. Should have done a little bit more in way of size, but can't really complain. 1256 now limit up. Oh, my days. This keeps moving, Joey. 1256 limit up as it kind of false halts there for a second. Down goes Fraser into about 12 and a quarter, so we'll watch for that. And while I do that, let me tell you, of course, about NTRA, as Mark was very nice enough to point that out.
All right.
So let's flip to the 5 minute chart, Joey.
Yeah.
NTRA. You still watching? What is it called there?
PN, yeah.
Keep me updated, brother. NTRA. Okay. NTRA. There we go. Sorry. All right, let's flip to the daily on this bad boy. Wow, this thing's at 12. So, oh my Lanta. Okay, so this doesn't look like a bad chart at all. Okay, so let's maximize so we can see the full thing. I'm gonna start with the weekly if you don't mind. This is a fantastic looking chart. Okay, this is a trend here, man. This is a beautiful looking chart. Punch in at 250. 250 has been a clear area of support. Look at that. Former area of resistance, now flipping to support. I'd be buying at 250. I'd be buying between 190 as well to 200. Another clear area of support. You got a good one here, Mark. This is a good looking trend. We just got into all-time highs, I believe, the week of July 6th. So, this month, earlier or last month, excuse me. So good look here on NTRA. I like this. I like it a lot. Let me flip to the daily. Yeah, so you got a bull flag on your hands here. Look at that double bottom into 250. Now you are putting in lower highs, but no two bull flags are created equal. They all looked a little bit different. Unreal PN, man. I can see it on the side. Beautiful breakout there. So I'd be looking for 300 here, okay? You got an all-time high, I think, of like two high 80s, 288. You got a bit of a double top there. I'd be looking for 300. I'd be getting it at 250, and if it does pull back, look at where the 200 moving averages, right around that 200 area. So that's what I'd be doing on that. But I think you're already doing well because you know what you're doing punching into this. Shout out to Mark, and thank you for the super chat.
All right, man. I was watching a Kramer interview yesterday. I think it was on Arista Networks. Yeah, I kind of like it. I like the look at this jib here on Arista Networks there, Shree. So I'm not going to buy any, to be honest with you. I don't know why I'm acting like I'm going to. I've got other things that we're going to be working with here. But Arista Networks on a pretty good run. I mean, just such a small company, too, that has so the previous quarter is more than they made all of last year. That's what they realized in this quarter. So those are good numbers, right? And oh my God, no way.
Lanta.
Yeah, I know, man. We got to keep our eyes. We got to keep our eyes on this
man.
One. Let's see if we can get anything cooking up here on this bad boy, Sharif. Another strong uptick into 13. What's the hold? What's the
1324 limit up?
1324 limit up. Give us another strong uptick.
1303
we
buyer.
need to see that tape.
Down.
Now, if that tape doesn't confirm what we're looking for, this is a chase on my behalf.
1340 limit up.
So now I need some strong participants, large participants, I should say, larger than Sharif and I, in order to push this price a little bit higher for one more big time uptick. But I'm not liking what I'm seeing on the tape so far. Defenders are really starting to step in here on PN. If we don't get a rebound here momentarily, I'm going to have to get out of this trade. So I want to see them step in right now, and we're not getting that trade. Oh, that disaster. Yeah, exactly. Good thing we got out on these things, man. This is absolutely crazy. So we give back what we just made on it, and then on NVDA as well, too, as a tank, looking for that $13 break. This is the move, 11 to 13. Be cautious. Size down. I'm glad that we didn't go full size. Otherwise, that would have been it for the day for the kid. Other than that, man, oh, man. Definitely yesterday and today, not my best of trading sessions, but that's all right. We turn this boat around momentarily.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And I've seen you do it before multiple times, so it is.
Yeah, but see, the thing, it's so frustrating because it's like digging a hole, and then I get out of it, and it's just like, what the heliante is even that?
I like that comment.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but you're funny, man. WYHG is finding some support as well. Don't forget about WYHG. It is finding support at 20, and it's at 22 1/3. I just saw a flash 23, but we got a couple of supers here, Assassino. So how about we put chain reactors on first if we can, brother. SPCX just told Google the bill is due. Pay me, LOL, poor Google. The rent is due.
Oh.
I love that. Alphabet draws about $115 billion of demand for jumbo bonds. Was that? Sorry, because you talked about Google. Let's send it. Should you? Yeah, my bad there. Yeah, that's what Sia was going to tell us. I read it because you mentioned Google as well. Of course, we saw that, of course, Anthropic and Google are now paying EWS, Elon Web Services, for renting compute. That is a good look, at least for SpaceX, as you know they try to scale up their revenue. Roland Espinoza dropping 2 in the chat. We thank you for that. Technical analysis on DVLT, please. Love the politeness. Let's look at it for him, Joey. We're gonna go to the 5-minute chart, Assassino, DVLT. Let's throw that. Oh, why do I always do that, bro? Oh, there we go. Data Vault. Okay. So, Roland, brother, you don't need to super again, but just tag me quickly. What time frame are you looking specifically for? Because I'm gonna start with the daily, and you know the daily, sadly, doesn't look all that good, right? Data Vault, $277 million market cap. You know, it's up 14.75% on the day, but when you look at the TA, at least on the wider time frame, you know, it's definitely seen better days. So keep your eye out on that. I'm waiting for you. Tag me again, Roland Espinoza. I'm waiting for you to tell me exactly what time frame you want, but let's go to maybe the 15-minute first, and then we'll kind of just start from there. So it lost a key area of technical support at around $0.33, and it bled into 27. So I don't like that right away. Let's go to the hour first, the 4-hour. Yeah, it's a downtrend, brother. I mean, it's an unbroken downtrend, right? And the problem is we're continuing to put in lower highs, we're continuing to put in lower lows, and it just doesn't show you that it's ready to uptrend again. And so I wish I could give you a rebound from yesterday's support. Thank you. Very, very good look there. Let me give you. So the support, brother. So yesterday's support definitely at 27. That's the double bottom, but the closing print for yesterday, a little bit higher than the double bottom, 28. So now you're getting a rejection here of the 200 on the 15, and you're getting that twice. So I would say at best, you know, at least intraday, you're looking at 36 pennies, which is a bit of a shelf from not just yesterday, but from the day prior. So 36 was an area low, and then we really lost it yesterday. So if we make a lower high today, it looks like it might stop at around 33. Already got a rejection there early on at 33. If we catch a bid, I'd be getting out at 36. I mean, this is not one that I personally would hold, but it looks like you're already kind of involved in that. Oh, I hope I shed some light there, Joe.
All right, man. Let's take a look at Unity and see what some of these other names are up to. I have a feeling that I don't think it's going to break down, so just go with the flow on this bad boy. So Unity, and then also what we have here, yeah, 1 second. What is another name that we were just talking about? QBTS via earnings report. See, not breaking down. It just continues to get bought back up. And I was talking to Neil, I'm like, man, this 25 buyer stepped in on multiple occasions. 2016, $20.16. Still hasn't touched into the volume weighted average price. So I mean, it's definitely not breaking down at this point in a slight recovery. And if you look at the bigger picture, nothing crazy is going on. We're still like cut in half, even potentially more off of the all-time highs. Oh, 100%. Man, oh man, I don't know if this is going to be a drive. I didn't even read the report on this one, but we're still down. Yeah, 1 second. We're still down 56% here with this name. See ya.
Breaking news here, USO just had a huge uptick giving you context before I go into it. So Iran and Oman are close to finalizing a deal on shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. As of yesterday, CNBC reported this post-market later at night. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. So U.S. and Israel vessels Hormuz passage will be prohibited under that deal. Countries and individuals have caused damage to Iran and will not be granted permission to transit through the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf until the damage is compensated. This is coming from Fars News. The plan would fine vessels up to 20% of the cargo value. USO still continuing to climb. I'm going to check what the market is reacting to right now. The SPY, sorry about that, currently, having a major downtake, and USO on the climb right now. If there's anything more out of this, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yeah, I don't think President Trump's going to agree to that. So, oh boy, maybe we should get ready for another, or the statement that another wave of strikes may be coming. So I think we're probably going to trend up here unless we get something different in the way of news. But here we go. USO at high a day, 119.05, ripping up from 117.5. So here we go. Here we go again. We'll see how this ends up going. All right, WYHG halted down at 19.5. CELZ holding up, man. I might get back into this. I might get back in. I said I ran out of patience with this, but it is holding that 1 1/3. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a breakout trade at around 1/4. Yeah, I know, Akash. I'm looking right at it, brother. I'm looking right at it. I'm thinking about it, but I'm seeing PN rip up as well. PN is holding 11. I think I might get back into CELZ over here. It's a slower mover, but I don't care. I don't need everything to be super fast. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm undecided. I'm undecided, Joey. We're going to go 128. Let's give it the old college try. Well, let's give this the old college try, man. There we go. All right. Found a little bit of a higher move. I'm going small share size here. If it's warranted, we'll add. Let's see if it can get above 140. At the moment, it can't. So it's been rejecting 139 for a hot minute. Many hot minutes, in fact. So there we go, 140 in play. The tape, look at the tape, guys. See how it starts moving a lot faster? That means people or algos are getting involved here. So now we need to see whether the buyers have more juice than the sellers. So while we wait for that, Sia's got more news for you.
The northern and southern corridors of the Strait of Hormuz are to be eliminated from this deal. This is coming from Fars News again, that they've cited a source. Also coming, the draft bill remains under expert review and has requested recommendations before any completions are made.
What does that mean? Me. Let me know what you mean, brother. I mean, are you looking for tickers? Because I got one for you right here, brother. CELZ. Well, we're looking at this one. I mean, I'm not vouching that this one's going to break out or anything. I would never be so stupid as to kind of vouch for a ticker because they'll break your heart. But man, I'm watching PN. I'm watching CHYM. Look how nice and calm CHYM has been. Bit more expensive, sure. It's $33.25 at the moment, but you know, just steady state higher and higher. 32.5 resistance initially. So if this one moseys back into 32.5, that could be a dip trade of interest. I'm going to put it at 32.69, Ozan. My alert, that is. I'm not putting a dip trade. I can't get 69s. We're going to have to put 68s. So, yeah, I'll keep my eye on that. Bovin's talking about PN. PN is ripping, Joe, and here it goes again. 12.5 incoming. Get it, Bovin. 12.51 limit up right now on PN. They're keeping that down, so we still haven't entered the halt parameter. So there was a seller of note here at 48 to 49. It still hasn't printed 50s. Eye on the level 2. The other eye, cross-eyed we go on the time and sales. But looking for this one to breach 12.5. The high of the day is 13.25. So that's what we're looking for there. And there it goes. 12.84 now, limit up, Bovin. PN on the move. But this one is a bamboozle, so trade it carefully. See ya.
I'm just going to do a quick happening now because there are more comments coming in, which is why we're taking a look at this. The SPY is currently down 0.18%. The triple Qs are down 0.27%. And the Dow is down very close to 0.70% on the day. Before I dive into what I really want to talk about, let's take a look at a couple more of these comments that are coming in right now. So the Iran-Oman framework would route ships entering Strait of Hormuz through northern corridor near Iran, exiting through southern corridor near Oman. All Strait of Hormuz traffic would later shift to central corridor of the strait, with Iran managing the entry and Oman jointly managing the exit. So Strait of Hormuz transit fees will also be determined as part of service charges. This is coming from Fars News as well. USO currently still climbing a little bit over here. But now let's take a look at one thing that I do want to talk to you about, and I'm going to send it to Neil for his lesson of the day. That is Zillow, is down over 12% on the day. This is a small cap name, but I just wanted to mention, since we do trade small caps, Sharif does trade small caps in the midday. So shares have slid more than 12%. Evercore ISI has downgraded this name from outperform to quote unquote in line, lowered its price target as well from $80 to $40 now, and Evercore ISI said that the downgrade is a reflection of both fundamentals pivot as well as weak macro environment year. Z is currently down over an inch and close to actually 13% on the day. But before we head back to the midday, let's send it to Neil for his lesson of the day.
Thank you, Sia. So I was reminded about something when I saw those halters go crazy. And we were talking about like the 3 halt rule. It's like, oh, it was something a trader used to do back in the day, is he would try to hold things for 3 successive halts. And it reminded me of a certain something. And it was the 3-day rule on stocks that gap and are running. And I've talked about it in context of like a small cap or like a medium cap, like something like a squeeze play, like those types of deals. But you know what? On NVIDIA today, if I'm asking myself, like anyone that watches the show, like one of my favorite setups is the false break of the high retracement, like short under the volume weighted average price. I love that setup. It's very clean. It's similar to the false break of the low and then break out the top. It's the reversal. It's to trap people in the morning and then go in the other direction. And unfortunately for myself, I got so tunnel vision on NVIDIA being along today that it was just trending up every day. It was relatively strong. There was a lot of things good about it. Don't get me wrong. It was strong relative to the market. It was a potential break. It gave you a dip into the high. All of that was true. And so rightfully, it's not horrible to have been looking long at the open, but there's a bigger picture. The bigger picture. There's the rounded bottom. There's day 1, gap up day 2 and run. Gap up third day in a row and run. Well, what happens when you false break the high on that 3rd day? It's that same concept, reversal play. And again, I don't mind taking like that typical, it breaks the low and then goes back into the upside. But there's your false break. Now, it's not as obvious that this is a nasty like false break reversal when you look at it on the 3-minute chart. Half the time, the lesson comes down to, when in doubt, zoom out and keep the bigger picture in mind. Because for me, I'm a find a trade, go hit it, get to the target, go to the next. And as I was looking for that continuation long setup, I just completely ignored what you saw on that 15-minute. On the 15-minute, it was a clear topping tail candle. You come back to the 3, it's under VWAP, and then look at the breakdown. It still is absolutely textbook, and I could make 1,000,001 excuses for not being short this thing. I could say, looking at SpaceX with so much good volume, all you need to was find one, like that kind of stuff, or we were able to find something else, level on QBTS, whatever. Like there's all kinds of excuses you could use, but the overwhelming issue there is not going to that bigger picture. Remember, if you like something like the 3-day rule, and again, you don't have to, but if it's something that you pay attention to, you got to be on guard for it, because it can quickly override the breakout's gone, right? You're not above 222, so the breakout's not available. It's pulling back. And you remember, look at the upside, or in this case, downside of that false break. You could argue we're not there. like at some point, if the breakout's not there, the under VWAP trade from a risk to reward standpoint, like if I'm showing you 215 at the bottom, right? When it breaks down under VWAP, like look how clean it is to the first support. You're talking about $5 or $6 to the absolute low and a couple there when you can have a stop of like 50 to 60 cents. And that's why mean reversion. That's why I like mean reversion in some case, because you get a good risk to reward on your trade. Oftentimes, if you get the revert, so you don't actually have to win 80% of the time. You don't have to win 50% of the time if you're a properly structured mean reversion trader. That's the idea. It's the same thing with that short. So again, you got to be able to zoom out. If you have a rule or a setup on a higher time frame, which has more potential and bigger upside, then what might be a good setup that you're waiting for on your 3-minute or 5-minute, you got to override it with the bigger opportunity because that's what it's all about. So it's a top-down approach that when you get granular in the moment, in the minute, in the 3 minutes, in the 5 minutes, it's really easy to lose sight of. And it just comes down to constantly checking your higher time frame to remind yourself of what's actually going on in the bigger picture. Because 1, 3, 5, they're not lying to you, but it's easy to lose sight of what's happening in a longer time frame, and that's what you got to take advantage of. I'm going to give you the grade. We had it was like a, I don't know, pasta, so like a spaghetti and chicken with like a tomato sauce. It was literally just like kind of dry as chicken. It was solid. I'll give it like a 7.2. The vegetables were good. I haven't had a zucchini yet, but so it was not that bad of a lunch. We didn't get the sandwiches that we were hoping for, but we'll take it. Little spaghetti. Would have been nice if it was like, it was weird. This is the weird part. Yesterday, right, we had shepherd's pie. What was the complaint about the shepherd's pie? It's too much of a tomato sauce. And then today we get like a spaghetti, and then we don't get enough of a tomato sauce. So I don't know if there was like a mix-up or something, but I don't know. Like it just seems a little bit shady to me. But anyways, that's just lunch. We have some fun with that. Good luck in your trades, everybody. Maybe NVIDIA finally gets off the schneid. It doesn't even look like it wants to here. And sometimes you get wrapped up in the minutia of the short term, or just the fact that, hey, the long just won for me, so let's go find another one, and you can lose sight of that longer term. So they're your higher time frame charts. They are your friend. They can really help you with the bigger picture. It's good to review them and just keep going back to it when you're looking for that next trade. So good luck, everybody. We'll see you back at 2 o'clock. Send you back to the midday. I'm going to go eat the rest of my vegetables.
All right, guys. Got to tell you about VinFast. All right, guys. VinFast reported strong Q2 momentum, delivering more than 70,000 EVs globally. That is up 96% year over year. And their first half deliveries reached 129,000 vehicles. That's up 78%. And that reinforces the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. And by mid-year, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W delivery targets, putting the company firmly on track across both growth engines. Shout out to the great folks at VinFast. I'm not going to do my little spiel like I did yesterday talking about the VF9. You guys know how I feel about that. And it seemed to be quite consensus on this desk over here, at least between the 5 of us, that we kind of liked it. So that's a look there. Guys, PN is just all sorts of strong. So while Neil was dropping I'm not allowed to say it. While he was dropping knowledge on Neil's lesson of the day, we weaseled back into PN, but by no means do we have the high of the day. That belongs to Adam. That belongs to Bovin. Both of you guys absolutely cleaning up on PN, and more proud of you guys. That could not be. Fantastic traders you are, man. You guys make me want to be a little bit better as well, man, because now there's genuine competition. Here we go, 1474. We're showing 14 right now. There it goes again. Bless you, Ram. Above 14. This one's on its horse, man, and it's got a lot of momentum. 1474. It's 1514 limit up. Kill that fly if it touches my eggs, man. Crazy? Bruh. The fly was trying to touch my eggs, Joey. All right, so I know, man, we're going to have to teach that fly a lesson. The thing about these flies is you gotta do like mafia style. Yeah. You gotta kill the fly and leave it out there to send a message to the other ones, right?
That's how
you know what I mean? It's a joke. Yeah. All right. Here we go, man. So we're having a good day today, man. We're having a good time right now. We're still involved in CLZ. We took a couple of beak wetters there into the $0.50. Nothing to write about. We're looking for a little bit more, quite frankly. There's resistance levels everywhere. 140, 150. It is annoying. CLZ, especially it's up 115%. But we're gonna give this one the old college try. Fly's got yeah, man. They can't touch my food, man. They can go get somebody else's food. I need all the protein I can get.
Oh, Ramin had that. We need Ramin to set up that sticky tape again.
Oh, that we put on the coat hangers that ruined everybody's coats.
Yeah. Those are quality.
Those fantastic.
Didn't catch
it
very
didn't
many
catch
fly.
on anybody's coats. All right, we're out. Bovin's holding PN. Bovin says it needs to hold 13 to 13.25. I couldn't agree more, Bovin. Let's take a quick look here. We got support here at 13 on the 5-second chart. It was also a prior area of resistance. But the thing is, you could get a wick below 13, but it moves right back above 13. So strategy-wise, you got to be clever with where you put in your stop, because if you're going to put it at 98s or 94s, you're probably going to get subject to that wick. Like, there's a big 13 buyer now, Joey. They can't shake him.
Can't shake him.
No, there's a huge buyer at 13. He stepped in a few times here, but it just feels like a stair-stepping down. So let's see if it fails. Let's just watch.
All right.
You know, I don't need to be here first. Look at that huge buyer at 13. Oh, down goes Fraser into 29, 1270, 1250. Moving back up into 63 here. Limit down is 1251, guys. We're at 54s. So limit down now is 51. We're awfully close to that level as we topping tailed, and this current bar has now breached prior bar low, and the prior bar is 51. That's too much. That's too much for me at the moment. I can't get in with a setup like that, so I'm gonna have to hang on the side here. We're showing 55s, 51 limit down. That could drop though, because we've been at this 51 limit down for a while. It's 39 now limit down, so that makes sense. So we get a little bit of a buffer here between the current price action and the limit down, Joe.
All right, man, good stuff. We'll head over to our watch list here and see what we got going on for Palantir. I mean, listen, Palantir was on a little bit of a run over the past couple of days. Things starting to cool off a little bit. But that's what happens, right? We talk about this all the time, is that when you go on these monster runs where it's like 30% off of the lows, don't expect it to continue on that path. It's just not sustainable. Yeah, you can get short squeezes and gamma squeezes, everything along those lines, but eventually the stock has to cool down. And with that being said, it could give you a good opportunity to get involved with this. Like, you have a slight pullback here in Amazon, but this name just breached through the all-time high. So congratulations for running into the $3 trillion club, hitting an all-time high, which with NVDA we haven't seen in the span of a couple of months. So since May, which makes things a little bit more difficult. But hey, rotation, I like this. If we can break and start to fill this gap a little bit here at 211, then that's, yeah, I'm gonna be really excited about that because I get to buy that much more. So we'll be happy and all giddy. Average price right now around 206. So at one point we're like 20 plus, almost $20 ITM on this bad boy. But still, I was saying, Sharif, man, not enough shares. Needed this to be the biggest position of all time, and that's just kind of what we're working towards with this one over the next couple of months. We just continuously build, and any dip buy, we're just adding into this bad boy. So need to make that big cash a day. You know what I mean? So that's what we're looking for. AMD still hasn't broken down. I do believe we're going to see a 30% pullback in this name, but it doesn't seem to be the case right now. At one point, you will get 400 or something along those lines if that's what you're looking for. Because what it's doing is it's just establishing a shelf. It did have a little bit of a dip. Why is it doing that? Why is it showing incomplete precision time zone? Yeah, this really messed up everything this morning. You see how it's I think it might be because it might be in like logarithmic or something.
Logarithmic?
Yeah.
Are you sure you have logarithmic on there?
I'm not sure, man. It's just a lot going on here. No, see there? I don't know.
Yeah, you took off logarithmic.
Well, I just put it on. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what's going on with this charting platform. A lot of technical difficulties, but hey, there goes.
You know what the solution is, Joe? You know what I'm gonna say. Come to the dark side.
Oh, but that charts. Hell no.
Brother, they work for me all the time.
But
man.
You can't see the issue with those is that you can't like manipulate the chart how you want it to. You know what I mean? So like you can't move sideways and all that.
You can, brother. There's tricks though. Can I show you?
Yeah, go. Let's see how long this takes here.
No, brother, it's not going to take long at all. You just hold the Alt. You hold the Alt and you pull.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is this. So you see how I can have open space, so you have to set that differently.
Oh, you like the open space.
Yeah, I like to be able to go right of the chart so I can make my predicaments and then predictions.
You mean like this?
My
Or
predictions.
are you talking about this?
No, but on the other side, so where there's still yet to be any data displayed. You know what I mean? That drives me nuts.
I think there is a way. Here, let me show you.
There is. You can
like a drag thing here.
Yeah,
here
exactly.
It is, right there.
Yeah, that's where you can do.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I don't want to see
That's
that.
madness. Yeah, it is complete madness. But anyways, aside from that, we're gonna keep rolling. But if you're trading, you need to use those because it won't show the executions. Like if I'm trading like earnings at home or in Blue Ocean, you have to use that one. That's why I have a Blue Ocean.
Oh, Blue O?
Because exactly. Because it won't display it on these like your buys and your sell orders. So you have to use that and makes things a little bit more compatible. The compatibility is obviously in the customization.
You guys are all space lovers to the right. Eh?
Yeah, you need to have that space to the right.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, man.
I respect everybody's.
Hey, to each their own. Yeah, exactly. It's whatever you're comfortable with doing. But anyways, aside from that, let's head over to our small cap scan and see if we got anything rocking and rolling. Kevin Gauss.
That's breaking out, Joey.
Is it breaking out?
Yeah, man.
I said. Yeah, we mentioned it.
The money now.
Out of guy. CELZ. It looks like it's gonna head towards the high of the day. Kevin Gaussman over here. It's not really doing too much. Heading south of the volume weighted average price. Unity. Oh, okay, a big time breakout here. Oh no, that's on the daily. That's 1 minute. We don't care about that anyways. So other than that, guys, listen, it's a quiet one. The breakout that we were looking for on NVDA, we should have hammered this a couple more times. Are you gonna have an additional leg right here in this $12, $13 marker? But NVDA off the lows. If we played the exact same system, we would have been a I like the dead space I went, Joe. Yeah, nice. Shrimp and pat. But the dead space? Yeah, that's what it is,
a lot
though.
of supporters in the chat with that,
but hey, man, they're my
They
people.
like it.
My people hit the stone cold for everyone in the chat there. But no, this is what I was talking about, this 34.46 hold. And then off to the races, you go up to 76. That would have been ideal, but it's kind of left without us. And we're not going to chase it whatsoever. So we'll see what we got going on. See it.
Different headlines here on oil. USO still hanging out here near intraday highs. Seeing comments from Fitch Ratings, of course, a rating agency. They believe that the base case Brent oil price already suggests that at least the oil market believes there's going to be major disruptions. Then you also get some more updates here on, again, the whole, Iran-Oman deal. Apparently, all Strait of Hormuz traffic would eventually shift to the central quarter, with Iran managing entry and Iran and Oman jointly managing the exit, because again, their plan is to get rid of the northern and southern quarters of the Strait of Hormuz. If I have any more details on this, I'll keep you posted.
Come on, Bovin. Where's the boom?
Where is it?
I saw BYH breakout. Bovin, it's ripping.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's going. Bovin's going to drop a boom any minute now. Come on, Bovin, let's go. BYAH into the high of the day, right at $5. Here goes. The tape's picking up. So 480 now, 490. Is this the one that I can't see limit up on, man? I think so. Yeah, this is the one. We're going to have to change it off. There he is. Boom. All right, $5 area high here. There is support at 4 because the topping tail candle did come in there. Guys, the volume is very new on this. We were doing very little in the way of volume. In fact, we're still pretty low on volume. 2 million shares on a $4 name at about 12.15, a little after. So be on the lookout here. I'm definitely interested in this name. There's no question about it. I just want to take it off the screen so that I have an idea of what the limit up and limit down is. This one not have it either? Wow, Bovin, this is ripping, man. Here we go again. It's Rip City. Rip City. Oh, my God. It's just, I can't punch in here, man. It's just, give me a pullback or something. Into 5. Let's see 5 holds here. Let me flip to the 5-second chart on my top screen. BYAH. There we go. So maybe generally 475 support here. I don't know. Let's see. I'm just going to watch here for a bit. See if it loses 475. There's a general area of consolidation, support between 50 to 75, showing 82s as a buyer coming in here in the low 80s, right at 82. Staunchy buyer moving between 82 to 83. So there's a good buyer here at 82. If it fails, I think it fails down a little bit more. Let's continue to watch here. Let's see if that 82 guy comes in again. I just want to see if he's got a lot more juice left in the tank there to kind of keep the price action above. While I wait and watch for that, Adair's got an update.
Keep an eye on NVIDIA and potentially some of these memory stocks as well. report from the information saying that NVIDIA is considering what they're calling a radical idea of using less Rubin Ultra chip memories. Apparently, they're basically considering using less high bandwidth memory for their Rubin Ultra GPU. Apparently, they're testing at least 3 variants of Rubin Ultra GPU, again, with varying degrees of memory. Here is MU. We saw that little spike to the downside before recovering. SanDisk not reacting too much. Seagate could also be in watch here. STX. And then, of course, WDC, Western Digital. Both Western Digital and SanDisk also are earnings day one moves. Back to you.
Huge seller at 5. Bovin, this one did pop up through, but there's a seller at 5 here. Keeps showing up. It doesn't matter if it shows 01s. There's a monster seller at $5. I only have one profit taker on this. This is a dangerous trade, full disclosure. Getting in at $5. If it loses 4.5, I am out. I have to give it room because it is very volatile. Now, I don't mind defending into certain areas, but I need to see a general uptrend. So here we go again, 97s. Let's see if we can even move above 5. There's 501 keeps coming in, but there's no continuation. There's a very aggressive profit taker. They killed him, Joey. Into 520 we go. 527 is the high. We're going 533's next beak wetter. Oh my days, what did I just do there? Yep. 533, let's go ahead and put that in. There it goes. No continuation though, Joe. Just a little bit above 5, a little bit below 5. That 5 short seller is pretty convicted.
Booyah. Let's see if this one thing gets going here momentarily. Oh, I didn't hit Siri. Siri popped up.
Huge seller, man.
Huge seller. All right, guys, let's go back to check our other large cap scan and see what we got going on here. YHG on that. We got to sort everything back out. Once again, Elf Beauty. Okay, that one hitting volume. 2.9 million shares traded on the day. Top volume name typically is NVDA, but we're not seeing that right now in my large cap scan. Did you get it?
I got out.
Oh, you got out? Break even? All right.
No, I got out. Profitable.
Oh, okay. All right. Not break even on. You could lock in that profit. Nice work there, my brother. But anyways, aside from that CrowdStrike, here it is, guys. This name tapped into an all-time high yesterday. Now pulling back a little bit, but hey, this has been on a big-time move. SanDisk and these names down, how many? 5% on the intraday session. Now, when we seen on the report yesterday with Western Digital and this name specifically, you had some aggressive selling, but it did find some form of a recovery where you tap into not quite sub $1,000. I do believe at some point there will be a good opportunity, but there it goes, booyah.
Ripping,
yeah,
Joe,
man,
ripping into the high, man. Give me my money. Boom on BYAH. Limit up, I think, is 570, 575. Nope. I can't see the limit up on this. Oh, my Lanta. Here comes $6. 5.9. We got right back in on that one. As soon as I saw it move back above 5, that big buyer did defend in the 80s, and here we go again, man. 590 high right now. I don't know what limit up and limit down is. I hate flying blind like this. I don't know why it's not showing up on this screen or the other one. Anyway, there's a seller here in the mid to low 80s on BYAH. This is really strong at the moment. Watch for a move back down into 5.25. 5.25 support here, especially if the $0.50 goes. So that's where I'm looking to get back in, between the half to a quarter, really depending on what I see on the level 2 and the 5-second chart. So continuing to watch here, Joe. Nothing for me to do unless it comes back into my technical area of support.
All right, man. Keep doing your thing. Let's send it over to the desk.
See ya.
The IWM is currently down 0.24% on the day. Let's take a look at 2 individual tickers that have been picked out for you. STIM currently is up over SITM, sorry, that's the wrong ticker. SITM is currently up over 20% on the day. The company has used its second quarter earnings call to talk about and frame the AI infrastructure demand and the acquired Renesas timing business as its next growth legs, which has finally been closed as of the 1st of July. So they were just updating that on the call. And management has also highlighted a rising timing content per data center rack and also improving visibility into the year 2027. Let's also take a look at AMPX. That is down 2.2% on the day. According to estimates from 10 analysts, Amprius Technologies stock average price has fallen now from $24 to $23.7, with forecasts that are ranging from $18 to $30 per share.
Thank you very much for that. See ya. Bovin, we did well, I think, on this trade. I'm out at 588. I tried to get 6s. It didn't give me 6s. And here is 6 again, and there goes 6. It is a 610 high. BYAH is the one right now. Now, it may not be that way for long. And that's what I want to really stress to the newer traders, right? I haven't had an opportunity, in the midst of all the chaos with small caps this week, because they're really going to really stress upon to everybody that these ones will hurt you if you really kind of trade them in the same way you would with large caps. It's just continuing to go. This looks like it's going to 10. 658 high. You have to be, you just have to look at these ones through the lens of suspicion at all times, because they'll break your heart. They turn on you. Doesn't take a big account to really move them. I mean that relatively speaking, of course. So as I trade these, I just really want to stress that, because, sometimes in the past, people have held these and they think it's just a buy and hold. It's really not, right? It's super scalpy and it can turn on you in a second. You can find yourself in a down haul. So while I've pooped on everybody's party with that kind of bad news, I really want to stress that though. So let's send it up to the big desk.
Keep an eye here on USO. I'm seeing some more reports here from Farsi and Iranian state media on this Iran draft bill that would, I guess, make a little bit difficult, or more difficult rather, for passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Apparently, an Iranian lawmaker reportedly said that the Parliament Committee is reviewing this bill again to ban the U.S., Israel, and other hostile countries' vessels from the Strait of Hormuz. Hostile, their word, of course, not mine. Apparently, this bill envisions, or pictures here, envisages fines of up to 20% of cargo value for violations of these restrictions. So again, just more details here on this bill and some of the punishment that Iran would theoretically be exacting against countries that are viewed as hostile when their vessels, I guess, transact anyway through the strait. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. Yes, it is a tumultuous time right now in the strait. And there were issues as well, guys, with the Panama Canal. I don't know if anybody heard it today. Apparently, shipping or transit rates for the Panama Canal have like quadrupled or 5x. And now people are going around the tip of South America, which takes like another 2 weeks or some 18 days, something like that. So it's just like there's constant issues with bottlenecks in shipping. And the canal, the Suez Canal, let's not forget about that. The Houthis in that area are causing some disruption. I think the Houthis actually hit the Yemeni government today with some strikes. So it's kind of it's a tumultuous situation. PN is ripping again, Joe, if anybody cares.
Yeah, all right. Let's see what we got going on here with the Nasdaq and see if we can get a nice little long there. In regards to the volume-weighted average price, see if we get buyer step in. We did have a nice little recovery on NVDA, almost at that level. I mean, 220.40, not quite aligned. You have to go back in data in order to get that print that you're looking for. So what we will do is if it cracks and puts in a new low of the day, then hey, it might be a short. And it's tough going against USO. If USO is going to the top side, and yeah, typically you see that inverse correlation between the two. So USO up 3.5% bright and early today, and it does start to form. It is forming a little bit of a bull flag. Maybe we go long some USO, a little hedgy hedge. I don't mind that whatsoever on that one. What's up, Katina, man?
He's back.
He's back, man. So he's back.
What happened?
Power outage. What's going on out
Is
there?
it raining? Oh, that got
A
flipped?
little walk. Is it?
Oh my gosh. And then it's humid.
It's very humid. It's very humid. Yeah, that's all right though. We like the humidity. I go for a walk down to Dundas Square and back up. I like the nice little uphill. Burn some of those lunch calories. So yeah, I mean there it goes. A nice little uptick in the Nasdaq. No crazy momentum style play, but if it can get back in towards the volume weighted average price, we're super small via size wise on this one. If it cracks this wick low 67s, then we just get out of it. But right now, I do believe we have some chance of a rebound. See all the buying pressure in these 5-minute prints. I think at some point, downtrend's still intact though. That we definitely have to take into consideration. So let's see what we got going on. Flush City on, yeah, I know, Katina, man. Go to his chart. All right, man. Nice work there, brother. And let's see what happens here. As soon as this trend breaks, you get past that 715 marker here on the Nasdaq, you might be able to climb and retest this high of the day. But you need the big boys to participate. I think Apple was pretty weak here. So it's holding on to positivity. It's about 6 basis points right here, but it is on the up move. So we'll keep an eye out on this bad boy right now.
All right, man. Good call, Joey. I'm continuing to watch BYAH and PN. Those are the two that you need to keep your eye on right now. Those are the two that are running. Shout out to Bovin. Bovin's cleaned up on BYAH. It is finding support now, generally at 6. But just to give you an idea, this current bar on the 5-minute chart is the high. So it's a 664 high. By the same token, this current bar has a 571 low. So when I say it's defending 6 at the moment, I mean generally defending 6 because most of the prints are coming in above $6. But as you see, it dips into 99s, gets bought right back up. However, we're not really putting much in the way of higher lows and higher highs on the 5-second chart. This is the 5-second chart. And you can see we've topped out a little bit. Now, when you're looking at the micro trend, we're on a bit of a lower high trend. I'm not saying that that's going to be operative here. A big buyer could come in, take that out as they're doing now. In the 25s we go, 21s now. So continuing to watch these monsters here on BYAH. Nothing for me to do unless just hang out. But it's not just BYAH, as I mentioned. It's the PN show as well. That one just got into $14.97. Bless you, Sia. Essentially a $15 high a day, minus 3 pennies. This one's tape is a little slower. As you can see, the spread is much wider. 18 on the ask, 92 on the bid. That's quite displeasing for a person who likes a tighter spread, myself included. But that's what this one is offering you, so take it or leave it, all right? Watching this one hold at 14 now. We haven't even done that many shares, and here comes 450, 1450, 1480 options, man. We're about to hit 15. Here it goes again. PN into 1536, 1584 limit up. The small caps are involved this week, baby. Here we go again. So now let's see if we dip down to kind of test that 14 and change dollar area. So I'm gonna have to flip from my BYAH to my PN trade. Okay, so where's the price action? All right, here. This is what we wanted, Joey. We wanted that 14 area. 1450 showing up. Gonna get in a small amount. Whoa, Bovin. This is dipping too aggressively here, Bovin. You're gonna need to punch in a little bit more. Whoa, it's bleeding its own blood. 1296 limit down. We're showing 1321. No, I ain't touching this one, man. It's still holding trend, which is the funny part, because the 10 EMA on the 5, it's still above that. So even though it just dipped from 1540 into 1312, and it looks like it's going to limit down at 1296, it's still holding trend. Crazy enough, because it's still holding that $12 level. Anyway, let's send it up to see if she's got more news.
No. If you consider sector watch news, which it is, let's talk. SPY currently down 0.16%. Let's take a look at the sectors here. Electric tech, you have a bit of flatness starting with NVIDIA and Apple, followed by MU and RTX APH as well. Broadcom is up almost 1%. AMD also up 1%. Intel, Cisco is relatively flat, but just a bit towards the red end, as well as Intel, GE as well. Dell is down 4%. SNDK that reported is also down 5.4%. You have WDC that also reported yesterday down 11.4%, which we will be thoroughly covering in the news segment. So stay here and don't go anywhere. You have ANET that's down 3%, and STX up 2.5%. Another name in the sector that I do see in the green is COHR that is up 2.5%. Tech services, you have Google flat almost. It's closing on, however, to being down 1%. Microsoft up 1.5%. Meta, Oracle are flat, and Palantir, Netflix are in the red. Palantir leading the two names down 2% on the day. PNW down 2.3%. You also have IBM down 1.2%, followed by CRWD that's down 2.3%, and CRM down 4.3%. Finance, BRKB up a little bit, minutely 0.60% on the day. JPM down 0.5%. Visa, MasterCard, Bank of America, as well as MS down, well, technically all flat on the day. And you have IBKR that's down 2.5%. You have names like ALL, all that is up 3.7% on the day. And Robinhood currently up down 1.5%. A lot of flatness that I'm seeing across the board, a lot of mixed sentiment in certain sectors such as health tech, retail trade, produce manufacturing, consumer non-durables, process, and utilities, to be honest. There's a lot of questions and guessing going on over here, I would say, with the stocks. Health Tech, you have Lilly and J&J both flat on the day with MRK. ABBV is a bit towards the red. Retail, you have Amazon, Walmart both flat. Costco trying to come up to the levels it was yesterday. Costco is up 0.65%. Home Depot is down 1%. You have CVS that's down 2.4% as well. Producer Manufacturing, all the leader names that usually are in the green are now flat. AMAT down 1%. But PH, that also reported, is up 6.5% on the day. Energy Minerals, we've been hearing news coming out of Iran and Oman and the U.S. and all the escalations. Currently, energy is up strong. XOM up 1%, CVX up 8%. Consumer Services, Disney is up 1.7%. However, EXPE down 2.5%. Finally, let's take a look at two sectors. Health Services, UNH is down over 1.5%. You have CNC down almost 5.5%. SOLV down 4% as well as DNA that's down 3%. And Communications, TMIS is a winner of this board for this sector. TMIS is up 3.5%. VZ up 0.6%, to be honest, and T up 2.3%, whereas Echo is flat.
Great information to see it. Thank you very much. Yes. For those who are just joining us, yes, we do have oil news. There is an agreement here between, it looks like, Iran and Oman, to the exclusion of I'm giving you a quick Coles Note summary, to the exclusion of Israel and the United States. Okay, any belligerents who were involved in the war will not be given straight passage. That's the agreement as it stands, of course, not something that I think President Trump will agree to. So let's just figure out how this goes. Right now, we don't know. President Trump hasn't commented yet on the last kind of statement that we got from those two parties. So let's see how this cookie crumbles. That's what we're talking about right now. That's why oil's up 3 1/5. And that's why you saw some market moves for those who are coming in. I just saw some questions coming in the chat, Joe.
Absolutely. Here's the headline from a little bit ago there, guys. So, I mean, that's not going to be good whatsoever. USO still holding up right now. So let's see what we got going on. Gore, yeah, go small size, get your A game. Yeah, exactly, man. So let's see if we get this pop up here. Just kind of sticking around, if anybody remembers that show. But yeah, sticking around.
Sticking around now.
Yeah, it's a 90s kids show. I don't know if all right, first every day last week takes balls to do this live. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Nate. Hey, listen, man, a good day. Like you said, man, you're new to this, so just understand. Take as much, be a sponge, and absorb as much information as you possibly can. When you're in a game of pennies and cents, you really have to stick to those stops. Even when you're playing these small cap momentum trades like Sharif is, right? Like, you have to get out, otherwise you're going to be having even a worse time. And when you dig yourself a hole, some days it's a little bit more difficult to get out of it, and some days you may not even dig yourself out of that hole. So that's why it's just really important to stick to the game plan, all right? I'm actually doing this takes all in front of the world, but you are true about it. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Truly, truly. Big love to you, Nate. And obviously, all the best luck. Any questions you have, just feel free to tag me, and we'll do our best to answer those. Right now, I'm kind of hedged, right? So what we are is we're long the TQs, but we're also long USO. So if one goes down, you're hoping that the other goes up. Now, we're not quite at the lower end of the range, but once this support system breaks down, then what we have to do is be prepared to get out of this one regardless of what happens in the Nasdaq, right? I highly doubt. I mean, in the earlier stages of this war, we've seen the inverse correlation, like almost at a 1-to-1. And I think that's important to know. As it started to decouple, you would have some days where they were both going up, especially when there was some positive news. And then next thing you know, you get a couple of truths from Donald Trump. And you just have this push and pull at times, which makes things significantly more difficult. I very rarely trade USO. During this whole fiasco at the start of it, and then I took a couple big slaps on the wrist, the ruler to the wrist. I don't know if anybody got that back in their school days. I didn't, because they'd be classified as child abuse. But anyways, aside from that, up in this neck of the woods, what is going on? I have to figure this out. It's frustrating me. Anyways, up in here, we were playing, and it was lots of fun. And listen, I talk about this quite often, is that you have a sector that's really in play, and then you have the market find that new shiny toy and then go look for something else, which I think the tech trade has been going on for quite some time. But think about what happened in silver through November all the way to January. It was so easy. And I remember the first day I started trading silver, Gorev's like, Gorev literally is like, hey, dude, check this out. He's like, go long silver, beautiful signal. And I'm like, all right, nice. And we're in the middle of this run. And then day after day, I'm like, yo, it was probably some of the easiest trading that I recall because of the run that we went on. It's just like any dip, you just buy in silver or gold, and it just decided to go on this run. So
Remember Ford?
Ford, that was 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
And then the one day I decided, hey, maybe Sharif's onto something, day 6. Obviously he does it. Yeah, he's like, dude. He's like, bro, why aren't you just marketable? Why aren't you just market on open or limit on open?
It didn't even dip. Like
Every day.
9:30.
It's just right out of the gate. And then day 6, I'm like, all right. Yeah, sure enough, it does. It tanks. It goes the opposite.
What do they call that? Murphy's Law?
Yeah, Murphy's Law, man. Linda, listen, absolutely. But yeah, there goes both to the upside here. USO starting to climb a little bit here, and there goes the Nasdaq to the top side. So, I mean, again, we're just super small via shares. So we're running into that resistance zone here on the T. Triple Q. Shout out Blicky Spears.
Get it, Blicky. All right, let's do a quick chart check here, Assassino. PN has just dropped for the first time in a while below the 10 moving average on the 5. Be careful with that. BYAH below VWAP but above the 10 EMA. Watch for a move back above. That one also a little bit on the downtrend. But let me give you a couple of new ones, baby. We got LBGJ. Holy, that's a mouthful, bro. I don't even want to say that. I'm going to call this Lyndon Johnson, LBGJ. I don't know why, but I'm not going to say that these 4 letters together again. That's pretty annoying. 458 limit up. This one is up 29.38%. You have also WLDS. Bovin was giving me this one, but look, this one's a bit of a volume problem. Let's throw that on there. And then I want to update you guys on the other one, WYHG, which is halted up again. This one here. So this one's going to be 10 minutes, if not more. The top, I believe, is 21 still on that. 21.25. Halt price, 20.40. Halt time, 23.10. 12.33.10. Earliest open, 12.43.10. So it's about 2 minutes and change away. So watch out for these two here. But PN and BYAH on a little bit of a downtrend, and LB, or Lyndon Johnson, we're just going to call this. This is way too spready for my liking. What's the spread on this thing, man? I don't even think it's done enough volume to show up on my scanner. 477,000. No. Oh, I have 1 million. That's why it's not showing up. Okay. Should change that. In any event, man, I've got nothing on at the moment, and I'm going to keep it that way for a little bit because I want to see exactly what these small caps bring for BYAH and PN, whether they fail or they make it move back up. Somebody was asking me as well about CELZ, whether I should get back into that. Look, I gave this one the old community college try. It got into 60s. It couldn't continue into 75, so I got the hell out. We were at 37s, and if it loses the $0.25, this one's likely headed back to 1 to 105. Look at that aftermarket top from yesterday. That's at 105. That's the wicks, but when you look at the closing prints, we're at that $1. So if we lose this area low here, right, which is the 1130 bar on the 5, that's 127. So 127 to me means a $0.25, and you also had $0.25 resistance in the pre until we took it out, and regular hours as well, until we took it out at about 1045, 1050. So CELZ, if it loses that level, it could be in some trouble here, Joe.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, Trav, man, I can get behind that, man, brother. Trust me. Yeah, Gorv, I knew it rejected the volume-weighted average price pretty well there. So let's see if we can get an additional break. With USO, we're heading back towards the high of the day. But what we do have going for us right now is this trend line. So we did have the channel down. Boom, breaks, off to the race it goes. Now, same thing here. Can we recover here on NVDA? Here's SpaceX holding up at that 108. Come on, give us like $99. Now, I bought some more the other day at $120. So we had a couple of, so I grabbed a little bit. It was like 15% at 160, another 15% of total allocation at 150, and then I actually grabbed 30%. Open. So we're a total 60% of full position size, 30% being the 120 being our largest, I guess I should say, combined between the 160 and the 150. So we're at 60% full position here on SPCX. I'm going to have to slow things down a little bit because I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future, considering EPS came in fantastic, right? You're expecting a loss of 26 cents. You come in at a loss of 6 cents. Fantastic. I think that's a beautiful growth path in my opinion. And if next quarter these guys come in positive, like they're actually making money, then it might be off to the races. You know what's off to the races right now, Sharif? Aside from your small cap name that I know you're getting ready to rock and roll on is USO, as USO heads towards the high of the day, brother.
All right, man. WYHG open. We took a quick scalp trade on it. Not a good trade. I should have been holding here. I didn't. Watching the 5-second chart. Looking for, here comes the high of the day break. WHYG. Sorry, I said WYHG. WYHG. Sorry, man. Still holding 23 here. Local area low to me is about 22.5. It's technically 21.83, but it spent very little time there. So I'm looking for that general 22.5 to 22.25 hold. Here's 22.25. Down goes Fraser into 21.50, 20.41 limit down. So we're way far, at least for the moment. This could move $1 very quickly. I don't want to get in here. This is turning into a topping tail candle. I'm not getting in here. I don't want to try to buy this at the moment. It looks like it's heading back down. If it loses 21, it's trouble. There's a buyer here in and around 21.5 generally, right? It dips into the 30s. It gets bought right back up, but that's not an area of support that I had. Let me flip to the 10-second chart here because I can't quite see the price action prior. So the halt level is 20 1/3. So we're still, all we're doing right now is holding 21. Right, we're not at the technical support level. Wow, we just bled.
Oh.
Yeah, limit down. 2021 limit down. So here it is. We need 10 seconds at this level. I see CELZ trying to catch another bid here, guys. It defended 30 again, and it's on its way back to 40. So possible move on that one. And PN is awoken again, Bovin. Oh, Bovin is already yelling about it. I didn't see it in the chat. I couldn't see it. Anyway. Did you cover the super or no?
I was gonna say I think we missed a couple, to be honest with you.
That's cool.
Did we do the Pepe billionaire?
What's the comment?
2 snow pesos right there, 11%,
No,
11
I didn't
minutes.
see
Thank
that,
you.
man.
Yeah, I know we're
Assassino,
missing a
can we
couple.
put
Yeah,
that
let's pull these up. We don't want to forget them.
Thank you.
All right.
I love that name, man.
The Pepe billionaire.
I love the Canadians.
He did both 2 snow pesos. Bang, just like that. 11%, 11 minutes. Thanks, Sharif. Booyah.
BYAH,
yeah,
man.
That's it, man.
Appreciate you, the Pepe billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. And then here, $2 American
Okay,
here.
Joe.
So about 4, almost about, 10 snow pesos right there. I am noticing a slow trend where MU seems to no longer be moving in the same volatile downward motion as other memory stocks. Is it high quality for Micron? That's a good question. Let's pull it up and see what everyone else is. So what I noticed, just reading on the Western Digital report and the SanDisk report. Now, as for Micron, so Western Digital I think is in direct competition with Seagate, right? So Micron here. Let's see what we have. Now, some of the other names, listen, again, it's not going to be as heavily correlated now maybe as you think, but on the bigger picture, look what the whole space has done collectively, right? So here's SanDisk. SanDisk is down 47%. All right, we'll head over to Micron. Micron is down approximately 30%, okay? And now, I've been saying this from day one is that Seagate here, oh no, this is C Limited. We don't want that there. No, that's right, Seagate. No, that's C Limited. No, I forget what the actual ticker is. But anyways, aside from that, 44%, right, to the downside. This isn't what I'm looking for. What's the Seagate ticker again, Sharif?
SGT.
One more time?
STX.
Yeah, STX. Yeah, thank you. Perfect. That's Seagate. We don't want that one. Seagate Technology. Now, same thing. This is holding up pretty well, if you ask me. 27%. But you can see how at one point they're all moving in tandem. You can see a decoupling from certain individuals, and if the street likes it, don't forget, Micron's American, and Donald Trump is all about onshoring right now.
Yep.
Oh,
25,
you're
45. Here we go. 1483 limit up on PN Bovin. We got 98s, and I added like a psycho into the dollar area. We're not dollar in the money. Just let me throw out an order there. Oops. Oh, that was a mistake. Dang it, man. I fat fingered. Stupid idiot. All right, I made a mistake. I made a keystroke error there, guys. I didn't mean to put it at 13.98. I meant to put it at 14.98, so I ended up taking it out. It's still a profitable trade, but it was a mistake. Did we cover the Iran statement? Or should I do that one?
No, yeah, pull that one. I didn't cover that one.
Assassino, can we put the $10 one on there? Appreciate you, brother. All right. Chain reactor, $9.99. Thank you very much, brother, for that. Every time Iran makes a statement, everyone else laughs. They don't have anything to threaten anyone with. Iran is like that one drunk friend that just won't shut up. Oh my days. Look, I'm gonna agree and disagree. Oh my days, PN here. I think Iran's tactically, when you look from a conventional military perspective, they don't have, weapon for weapon equivalence with the United States. I think most people can agree on that, but I think that they're going to take a little bit of a different route here if the war expands. We're seeing it in Ukraine. You're seeing the Ukrainians target now certain energy infrastructure, logistical infrastructure, that wild berries, which is like the Amazon of Russia, is getting hit. So we could see, sadly, the expansion of the war to target commercial interests rather than just straight military. And I think that expands the war fundamentally. And I personally, I just don't want to see that. But I feel like maybe the Iranians are going that way if it continues to expand. Let's send it to see it.
For the first time ever, I'm going to take a look at the Egyptian pound because there is a headline around here as well. So USD EGP right now, let's take a look. That is currently trading around the 49 region and down 0.22% on the day. Egypt's annual headline inflation rate is expected to have accelerated in July to 15.6% from 14.3% in June, driven by unfavorable base effects and stronger food and non-food price pressures here. That's a lot of that seeing you going around in the world. That's not a good look over here. GBP USD right now. Let's take a look at the pound. The British pound, not the Egyptian pound. So the British pound has been slightly steady as of today against the dollar and the euro, currently almost flat on the day. Well, now tilted down 0.09% as of today. Investors are awaiting updates on a possible deal between Iran and Oman that can reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which now, as we did see updates related and regarding, the two countries are deciding to draft a bill. Also, finally, let's take a look at the dollar that currently sits at being up 0.29% on the day, trading around the 99.9 region. It is still at 7-week lows, sending it back.
Oh, yeah. Give or take, yeah.
Even there.
Like my cousin, when you're carrying cash in Egypt now, you got to go out with watts. Yeah.
It's hyperinflation, man.
It's not hyper. It's tamped down a little bit, but it's not good. There's been a lot of, dude, think about it this way, right? Think about it this way. Think you're an Egyptian businessman.
Yeah.
And you held your money in Egyptian pounds rather than putting it in US dollars, right? Okay. And let's just sake of example, when they started allowing the currency to float naturally against other currencies in 2016, it was 2016 when they did this. Say you have £1 million in the bank, all right? Which at the time, I think before they allowed, it was like 16 to 1. Now it's 50 to 1.
Yeah.
So you got £1 million in the bank, and this is what you could theoretically buy against other currencies. All of a sudden, that £1 million that you have, which hasn't increased, buys 10% of what it could buy before. Think about the wealth destruction that causes.
Yeah,
if you're holding your wealth in the Egyptian pound. No, but that's serious.
I'm not laughing.
A lot of people got clipped with that, man. And so hold on, I'm not done my story. So then everybody wanted to buy a currency that wasn't deflating or inflating, sorry. So the US dollar. So then there became a shortage of US dollars everywhere. You couldn't get your hands on US dollars. And then everyone's like, all right, well, we'll buy gold. And then they started limiting the amount of gold you could buy or the fact that you couldn't hold it for specific reasons. It's like everybody looks to that kind
couldn't hold gold for
specific reasons. Like you couldn't buy as much gold, and they were preventing you from taking it out of the country. And then there were gold vigilantes who are doing it on your behalf, who are smuggling it out. It becomes tumultuous, brother. You get wealth destruction like overnight. You know what I mean? Like,
well, think about what happened in Argentina and the other. What's the other company that went?
Turkey. There's been plenty of hyperinflation. Turkey, Argentina. It's happened in so many different places.
Oh, not. Someone said sand peso, and I couldn't keep it straight.
Sand peso, yeah, that's jokes. That's actually a good one. I like
you know what I mean? Because I say snow peso, and they said sand peso.
I like that.
So
that's clever, actually.
Let's send it over.
All right.
We have an update here from President Trump on Truth about Iran, but not the update we might be expecting. He's not addressing any of these reports that Iran is working on this draft bill that would prevent Israeli and U.S. ships from crossing through the strait. No, he's commenting, I guess, on what he's calling rumors or fake news reports from, as he's calling them, the Washington Compost or the Washington Post, suggesting that he's unhappy with U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth's performance in Iran. He's saying that Iran, quote, Iran comment where the country has been decimated for the purpose of, all caps, not allowing it to ever have a nuclear weapon is going very well. So he's maintaining things are going well in Iran. He has no issues with the performance of Defense Sec Hegseth. If I get any more details, I'll keep you posted. And we're getting some comments now as well from Yemen in the Middle East. So just lots of Middle East tensions, unfortunately, here. If Trump responds more specifically to these more recent reports here with Iran in the Strait, I'll keep you guys posted. Back to you.
Yeah.
Guys like Kobe Covington, man.
Yeah, I'm just reading some of the headlines there that Adair was reading through. It is what it is, man. I don't know, every time we think maybe, this thing's winding down, there's another curveball that comes in there, Joey, and that's just kind of the way it is, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be like for the next little bit. I keep using the example. Everybody thought the Ukraine-Russia war was going to be over in a matter of months. Well, we're creeping in on almost 5 years at this point. So, yeah, this conflict is going to go on for significantly longer than probably what we're expecting. Iran's not going to want to cooperate with Donald Trump. And both countries seem to be, it's either our way or the highway, and sure enough, it's been that narrative. USO, we got all out of that, guys. We'll take a look at this name here specifically. Nice partials all the way up to the high of the day. Comes back in a little bit, but now we're just on the path of just punching through this level. 3%, almost 4% here on the day to the top side. And I mean, listen, the Nasdaq isn't falling apart. Right? Like it had a strong opening drive, strong session, stronger than the S&P 500 today. With the Nasdaq, it technically isn't down 0.25%, but from a price action standpoint, it looks a lot better as we trade above the volume weighted average price. And I don't know how much of a chance we have to climb higher in the SPY. Now, I talked about the financials. JPM hit all-time highs earlier in the week, and some of the other bigger names have been cool for quite some time, but there's JPM running into almost another all-time high here today at 363. Katina Man saying his boy buying JPM in the low 300s high, 280s, somewhere around this neck of the woods. So that's a yeehaw over there and a good buy. $1.50 divvy as well too, Katina Man. So maybe you can collect a little off of that one off your boy with CrowdStrike and some of the other names. Pan W was on a solid run. So the cybersecurity names living up to the hype, that's for sure. Sharif. Now we'll head over to the financials and see what some of the other names, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, I should say. Not too bad of a look off of those highs. But hey, think about it. So when I seen with JPM, it was lagging Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs because they hit all-time highs before JPMorgan did, and then eventually JP's like, all right, hold my beer at this point, and sure enough, off to the races it went. Now, Robinhood's been a little bit of a struggle, guys. I'm glad that we punched all out in the 95, 97, I believe it was. We got all out. But don't forget, we were buying this name earlier in the growth cycle, and I think it's key to identify when companies are going through that triple digit. What we've seen in the SanDisk and Western Digital numbers and a couple of the other names that I've reported is like, yeah, they're all fantastic, but the market being forward looking, you price so much of it in is that if you don't surprise the street, you're going to pay for it. And I think that's kind of what has happened. We're expecting growth, but at a faster rate in order for us to climb higher. That just wasn't the narrative on those two names that reported. So, hey, it's still great stuff. And the trajectory, I think, is fantastic. A lot of interesting things going on the inside of it. But, again, too far, too fast. And then now you're just not moving at the pace that you've seen when we really started to move in December of 2025, late last year, I should say.
Just before we get to the super guys, WYHG halted to the upside again. It's still a little bit of a downtrend though. It has to take out that $24 area that we rejected last time. Otherwise, 22.79 looks good, but it's a lower high. TAP showing 23.02 halt time, 12:55.49. Current time 12:58 and change. That's not the only one that's halted. LBGJ halted to the upside. Halt time 12:53.53. Current time. This could be opening in seconds here. Let's see what this one does. TAP 560. It's open. Bleeding down. Let's see where the buyers, if they step in, $0.5 buyer here into 3/4, looking for 6 showing up here, Bovin. 5.95 seller into the $0.5. We go again, third of a dollar. Oh my Lanta. Let's continue to watch. $0.5 buyer stepping in here. So I just want to flip this one, LBGJ. I just got to throw that on there. That's lost trend. It's going to limit down into 502. Eek. Okay, so it's a top. No, false halt. Joe,
wow,
my days.
Pop up there.
All right,
dude.
look for a 5.5 reclaim on the bid. 5.5 reclaim on the bid. Not quite there yet, man. It's hanging out. Let's see if it pops up a little bit more. If we could kind of trend up. Yeah, it looks like it's holding the bid at 5.5. Let's see what we can get on this one. What did we get, Joey? We got 70s. Not that great. Looking for 88s. Looking for a little bit more over here. So let's go 588 on that one. And then we'll go 595. Let's see, 79 seller, big 79 seller, can't shake him. Yeah, there's a huge seller into 85, no continuation. Big seller at 85, looking for a price spike up into 6. It's not happening. Anything below 40, I'm gonna have to end at 80 seller again, 81, 85. That stupid 85 seller keeps coming in. Down goes Frazier. Into 65 here. Joe, what are you seeing, bro?
Good stuff, yeah. USO down, NASDAQ up, guys. Stevenson, nice work, brother. Tesla swings that have been cooking up for you. Let's actually pull up Tesla. Wow, haven't traded this name in quite some time. Let's see how we've been performing as of late. Still stuck in limbo, if you ask me. We have the earnings report, and then we just haven't had the ability to recover. Right? So it's just like, ooh, you gap down. I thought we were going to crack this 297 marker because there's a key structure. You zoom out and you can see some key support levels around this $300 and it just hasn't snapped through. And I said, hey, if you feel like you've been missing out on Tesla, well, you haven't because you're at prices of November of 2021, right? So don't feel like you are. But listen, I mentioned this multiple times before. Dan and I have stated like, hey, investors getting slightly impatient with Tesla. Well, I mean, what are we even talking about here? It's been, so you're back at levels of 5 years ago, but you've never been closer to having mass cyber cabs produced, and then Optimus V1, right? Starting to come up, looking at a million robots by the end of next year, I believe it is, or the start. It was obviously an optimistic point of view and from a production capability and production standpoint, and then another million after that. So it's just like, all right, hey, let's see how these are going to perform, but it's the autonomous vehicles, the AVs that I believe are going to be a massive driver. Katina Man doesn't even touch a steering wheel anymore, he told me, so he's just always hitting the FSD, and same with other people. Sometimes it was a mixed bag, though. Some people are like, man, I don't even want to drive anymore. I just hop in. There's the AV. Yeah, it's Max.
Get it, Max.
He just hits the FSD and then off to the races he goes, and then some people are like, man, I don't really like it, but I think the majority of us stand in, hey, if you don't have to. I was thinking that to myself this morning. I was like, man, imagine I didn't have to touch the steering wheel on the way into work. Just boom, just hit the button and then off the way you go. You might need to get a Tesla, Sharif, from where you're coming from. You would that? Oh, heck, what's going on over there?
Oh yeah, I got out.
Okay, that's good.
I'd love to get a Tesla, man, but we're gonna do some other stuff first.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, exactly.
We'll take care of that, and then we'll look into the car. I was thinking about though, getting maybe. Just a lease takeover, play around with.
For the one that you're showing me.
Are you off short term?
Are you off the Hummer EV now?
No, I was thinking about picking up the Hummer on a short-term lease takeover. There's a lot of them.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a different car that you told me.
Yeah, I was just showing you like the lease takeover concept when I was showing you that, but I don't mind.
I still like the Hummer EV.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. The truck. Yeah. I want the truck. Air suspension, right? You got the convertible. It's an SUV and a convertible, which are my two favorite setups. So, EV, it doesn't have FSD, but it has like whatever GM has there. And, the Hummer EV, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Shallow Rose. But get a VinFast, Ozan says. I wouldn't mind VinFast, man, but they don't have the convertible / SUV setup. And the cool thing is about the Hummer, like those detachable roof kind of panels, there's 4 of them, one for every side of the car in front and the back. They go in the frunk. So it's like you don't even like need to, you know, worry about leaving them here or there. You can just, you know, in the middle of a road trip or in the middle of an outing, just take them off, throw them in the trunk. They have these like covers that come with them and they fit perfectly. Like they're shelved areas so they don't play around. It's cool stuff, man. I like it, man.
I like what, okay, yeah, someone had, you brought this up. Bitcoin was putting in a little bit of a move here. Hey, man, if we're going to hold up, it might be at this $32 marker, hopefully. You are heading towards the high of the day, so there might be a good opportunity for us to get involved in some IBIT. Let's see how this one's looking. Are we positive on the day? Ooh, not quite. So we might be heading on that path. Let's post up at 36.66, see if we're fortunate enough to get that one. We'll start relatively small because we are extended from VWAP, right? And I think we have to take that into factor. So let's be patient. We're posted up at 66. We'll add a little bit more, worst case, in Ontario there and see what we got. IBIT, worst case scenario. Yeah, of course. Shout out to Ricky. This would be like, again, we're pretty extended from it at that point. This would be more or less a momentum style play through the break of 36.80. So let's see if we get this pullback one more time. 66 is where we're posted up at. And I mean, that's what makes it more difficult because you have to determine where you're wrong. So that's why we'll start small size. 36.55 is where we'll exit this trade.
Yeah, man. Let me start this again.
Guys taking the roof off in the winter.
Let me start it again. Look at this SSC. You know, look at it. They just unplug the hook. Right, you take that off, and I know, just keep going in and out. But you bring them right to the front, so it goes right here. So you just take out all the tops. There we go. Look at that, man. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? Yeah, bro. This is it right here. Like, and it's an all-weather vehicle too. So it'd be great in the city of Toronto. But it's just like you never want to buy one of these. That's the thing, because they're just so bad in depreciation. So you either lease it or you don't buy it. And I don't want to hold on to it for that long. So it'd be a lease takeover if I did that.
They don't hold their value well? No.
In general, I would say, you know, American cars in the American market, not really great value holders.
Not the best.
See ya.
What was that?
That was a Hummer EV, if you're interested.
That looked good. I love Hummers. That looked good.
See ya. It's a convertible and an SUV. Come on.
Not here, though.
Yeah,
but it would be.
We got 6 good months, see ya. We got 6 decent months. I know you want 30-degree weather. To me, from May to October, that's usable. To me, that's usable outside time. May to October.
Roof off?
Absolutely. I had a convertible, brother, and I would drive it with the top off into the 4th week of October.
Yeah?
Because it was double digits, 15, 16. I can hang with that.
All right.
You're not wearing a cutoff, but that's kind of.
You're not wearing the crops that you sent me.
That's for the gym only, my boy.
That's crazy.
All right, guys, we're having a good time over here. It's 6 after 1. We're going to be starting the news pretty soon, but I do want to remind you guys that the small caps, it's not all doom and gloom here, right? It's been a great day for trading on the show, but WYHG breaking down, GAUS breaking down, PN breaking down, WLDS, you guys get it, BYAH, they're all kind of on the move to the downside here. So I just want to hang. I don't want to get into anything at the moment, quite frankly. We just gave back some on our trade here on this piece of crap. Where is it? Show yourself. LBGJ, which is halted up now again. All right, well, we got out right before the down halt there, so we made a bit of a boo-boo. We got a little bit out right at the top, but it's going to be a negative trade. It took some off my P&L, but we're still positive on the day, so all good there. And that's all I kind of got at the moment, man. If there are any, yeah, I see it, Bovin. I see it. It's halted up again. Bovin's saying a different one. No, he's saying LBGJ. Yeah. So this is the one we're looking at right now. Yeah, I've got nothing at the moment, guys. We can just hang. CELZ is still putting in higher lows. If you guys want to trade that, it's not my favorite. It's a bit of a compression pattern, so you do have lower highs. But by the same token, you do have higher lows. It's holding a general area of support between 1 1/4 to 1 1/3. But I don't feel like jumping into this one at the moment. Adira's got news.
Yeah, I have some updates here. Michael Burry of Big Short fame making some position adjustments. Here's the FISV according to Michael Burry, he has bought this company. Obviously, they had this big drop here after earnings this morning, so it's unclear where he actually purchased this, but good look there. He also told us about Nebius. He's apparently short Nebius. He got short 211.77, so that would be around this area on my chart. According to him, larger size. So short Nebius and long FISV for our friend, the Big Short, Michael Burry, famously played by Christian Bale. Back to you.
All right, yeah, so let's see what else. We'll get into the, whenever C is ready, we'll get into that momentarily. We can do a quick rundown here and see what we got going on from some of the tech names. Look, banking sector all red today pretty much, with the exception of Toronto Dominion up 0.1% there, Katina Man. PayPal, so if you're looking to cash out on some TD, there it is, man, up 0.1%. Now the airlines, listen, the airlines have been strong for quite some time. Today, not so much. Here's Southwest, Delta, and United Airlines all red here today. So definitely I'm not even going to call it a mixed bag. The majority, it wasn't like the Monday or Tuesday, I believe, where it was just hard to find a red name, or Tuesday, Wednesday it may have been. But anyways, aside from that, you can see the mixed bag. Western Digital down 10%. So, I mean, there was some form of a rebound, but it just absolutely tanked Citi here. $50 off of that opening print on the earnings report to the downside. And then $7.97, you're down 41% off of the all-time highs. So, hey, if you do believe there's any form of value, then by all means, I don't think it's a horrible place to start dabbling. With that being said, you know what we have to do, and I think it's important, a lot of people in the chat can agree, is taking a look at the Kospi. How have we been doing here? See, that's the thing, man. I've been pounding the table about this, and then as soon as the news came out that the South Korean regulators aren't issuing any more leveraged ETFs, it was over before, it was way over before that. In my opinion, because when I was reading up on it, I watched a couple of pieces, I believe it was a Bloomberg piece, how just such a large majority of the population compared to what we see over here was getting involved in the market and buying all these leveraged ETFs. Well, what happens when you pull back 40% and you have a 2x leverage? It goes to zero. And then it has to reverse split. So a lot of people losing a lot of money. And then that's why you're not seeing that aggressive snapback, right? Like when you have these deep pullbacks, you usually get the rubber band, and then sure enough, you can climb back an additional 30, 40% or whatever it may be, 25 to 30%. But that hasn't been the narrative because so many people unfortunately got liquidated when a whole index is down 43%. All right, so that's most definitely a tougher look. And that's why I'm a firm believer is, hey, why aren't we starting to recover as fast as we possibly can? It's because you've eliminated so many participants. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily the case here with Bitcoin, but don't forget we had those huge liquidation events. And I know Adara will probably get the dates off of memory on Bitcoin. One was like the 10th of October.
Yeah,
and then there was another one as well, too.
I think it was like, so I know November, there was this big drop in November, I believe. Yeah. There was another drop, I think it was late November, early December. There was a drop as well, I believe, in February. At this point, I'm kind of going off the top of my head and I'm very tired, so I'm not at my peak. But yeah, there was, I think like that October drop you're mentioning right after the all-time high, definitely significant, as was that one.
It was on your birthday.
No, when we hit all-time, no, I'm saying the liquidation events. The liquidation events was shortly after, and then you just haven't seen any form of a recovery, right? So you have people who are making a ton of money, and then all of a sudden, 6ix9ine. Who said that? Was that Big Smile? No.
Yeah, he's not attacking you though. He's talking about the Hummer here. Lele, I saw it. I'm gonna cover it. Lele, C-I-O-N. Lele calling out C-I-O-N for anybody who's interested in that, up 20% stair stepper. Big Smile verified. He's in the freaking house, man. There's my man. I love this guy, Sharif.
Yo, I don't know if you can read that.
Yeah, we're gonna read it because it's an innuendo.
All right, man. All right.
$6.90. Shout out to my man Spile, bro.
All right, man.
Sharif, I agree on Hummers, but would
that's what I'm.
But would like to add my favorite part of the finish. Yeah. Why are you like that, bro? This guy's fantastic. This got grown-ass man who has great kids who he raises very well. But when he comes on the show, It all goes out the window. Shout out to my man, Big Spile Burdett. We miss you, brother. Hope you're having a great time. He's been at these projects. He's been doing big projects there with everybody and company. All right, I hear Adara giggling. That means something's going on up there.
Yeah, what's going on is apparently this is the U.S. response to the whole Iran report. So I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit more. But there's an interesting look here. So basically, what we have here, USO still near highs. If you guys recall, about an hour ago, we get this spike up in USO on reports from Iranian state media that Iran is working on this draft bill that would prevent countries like Israel and the U.S. from having vessels go through the Strait of Hormuz. U.S.'s response is, quote, Hormuz is an international waterway. No party controls Hormuz lanes and transiting, and that temporary Hormuz routes will be without impediment. I was just kind of giggling there because the Hormuz is an international waterway was the only comment I had seen at that point. So I was like, that's the whole response. But yeah, they're basically, as we kind of predicted, they're saying, yeah, this is not going to affect us. We're not really going to abide by this. If we get any comments from Trump himself on this, because we haven't yet, and he's posted about Iran since this came out, I will certainly keep you guys posted. Back to you.
Thank you, Adira. I see above it. PN is making a move back into 13. I see WLDS is halted up. I do believe, no, it's not. It's up into 360. We still are waiting on LBGJ. That's halted up at 518. But yeah, like we saw American ships, right, or ships in general, obviously not the same rate at which they were coming out prior to the war, but they were kind of hugging the Omani coast, right, on that sort of southwest side of the strait, if possible, which apparently is shallower and harder to navigate than the Iranian side and obviously the middle, which makes it tricky. But you have a lot of these insurance companies that just will not insure these tankers or whatever is going through there at all because of obviously the threat of getting hit with an Iranian drone. So even if the U.S. continues to maintain that no one country controls the shipping way, the ships aren't going through because if they get hit, they're not going to get their money back through the insurance, and that continues to be a problem. Now, we saw the U.S. come in early on, try to get some insurance for them. Then we saw a different response where they were trying to escort these ships. Nothing really has worked on a consistent basis, though. Is that your feeling as well?
I was reading something, man.
No worries, man. Anyway, it's about 1:15. Sia, give me the thumbs up there if you're ready to go. You ready to go? All right, so let's send it up to Sia. We're going to start the news.
We're going to start with SNDK earnings day one. We're going to take a look at the stock, what's going on. So adjusted earnings per share of $39.25, topping the estimates of $34.47. Forecasted EPS range now stands between the range of $44 to $46, which has come above the estimates of $45.58 to be precise. SNDK has also posted a revenue of $8.79 billion versus $8.64 billion that Wall Street had expected, which is up 372% year over year, and has also been driven by a 103% sequential jump in data center revenue. Company has said that the revenue has come from approximately 1/3 higher volumes and 2/3 higher pricing, and management has highlighted that the demand from customers has outpaced the supply. With that, management has elaborated that it will continue rationing memory supply among its customers. SNDK CFO as well, Luis Visoso, has said that the total revenue, quote unquote, expected revenue from all our NBMs we have signed is a minimum of $93.9 billion, assuming floor pricing. We believe actual revenue will be above that minimum. The stock is currently up 490% year to date and has been the best performer on the S&P 500. Full year guidance for revenue standing between the range of $10.3 billion to $10.8 billion. Diluted EPS, that is non-GAAP guide, stands between the range of $44 to $46. Gross margin is between 83% to 85%. And finally, operating expenses expected between $574 million to $614 million. Adara.
Yeah, I have stuff to say here. So for one, I just want to say, because I'm going to dive into this report. I saw some comments here yesterday when I was talking about SpaceX, and they were all in good faith, and I really appreciate everybody's feedback. But I want to make it clear, I'm never out here to try to attack or hate on a company. There's one exception, which name starts with an O and ends with an Oracle. But other than Oracle, all jokes aside, I just like to look at the numbers, and I like to see if there's any patterns or things that I find interesting. So that's all that I was doing with SpaceX. That's all I try to do here. And again, this is not, criticizing an entire company. This is not criticizing the whole of their earnings reports. Again, as the deep dives I do in Oracle aside, what I'm trying to do here is just look at, specific aspects of the financials and see things that stand out. And that's why I don't speak on every story, but I like to have lots of details on the ones I do choose to opine on. With that in mind, SanDisk, a year in review. This company went public again less than 2 years ago, which I think is why if you heard CSA sequential, they're really focusing here on that quarter over quarter. They're not caring about year over year because they don't have that much year over year data to begin with. So with that in mind, I thought it'd be interesting to look at that sequential growth. So revenue growing sequentially, across the board. It's also growing year over year, of course, as well. But let's get, operating income, strong growth. Now, GAAP gross margin. I am pleased as punch by the fact we saw GAAP gross margin continue to improve, because when I was working on this and I saw Q3 78.4%, I was a bit concerned. I honestly thought they'd probably have a sequential decline here. The fact that they didn't, I will give them props for. Now, this quarter over quarter revenue growth, still 51% year over year. That is not bad, and for most companies, we'd be really happy. However, that growth is slowing down sequentially from the 97% we had in Q3. Again, this is like, literally me going through a magnifying glass and poo-pooing things. So take it for what it's worth, but I did find that interesting. That was the really the only sequential decline or slowdown that I noticed. So let's take a look here at their revenue by category. And again, you've got the sequential growth. So data center, as Sia mentioned, up 103% quarter over quarter. Edge revenue, which apparently is the vast majority of their revenue. This looks like 2/3 or so of their total revenue. That here came in 48% year over year growth. But consumer revenue actually down 32% quarter over quarter. So that was kind of interesting. You do have some sequential declines within the segments. It is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of dive in here. For what it's worth, consumer revenue also declined on a year over year basis. So that segment could be one to watch for weakness for SNDK going forward.
Thank you for that, Adair. Great information and great infographics as always. How much? 1 cent. Yeah, I'll take them. Thank you, brother. Getting Katina, man. All right. Yeah, that's fine. So I just want to say this is one of the largest EPS prints that I can remember, and we report on these things like almost all the time, right? Especially how many earnings seasons that we've had since I've been here. $39.25 is what they printed on EPS. I mean, that to me is just bananas, right? We've seen big top line numbers, right? Amazon, 200 billion, in revenue, this, that, and the other. But I've never seen an EPS print this big. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys have seen bigger. $39.25 earnings per share. Madness. But believe it or not, right? Most of that is price hikes. It's not even volume. That's how much pricing power they have, I think they're going to have it for another little while, maybe a year, maybe two. So out of Q4's 51% sequential top line acceleration, 2/3 of that amount was driven entirely by unit pricing, not just volume increases. That's the kind of power that they have, and that needs to be respected. Let's also talk about their data center segment, which is, of course, a euphemism for AI. 437% bump year over year, basically powered by high capacity enterprise SSD ramp ups. Data center revenue specifically, $2.98 billion, up 103% quarter over quarter. Sometimes you don't even do that in the lifetime of a company. They're doing it quarter over quarter, and then 437% year over year. Some eye-watering numbers here, but it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. The actual product that we actually know this company for as retail consumers, which is flash, contracted 33% quarter over quarter. People don't care about it, and the company doesn't care about it. They're focusing on what makes them money, which is enterprise and AI. And then last but not least, Joey, when you have that kind of money floating around, brother, you can definitely give back shareholders some value, and that's what they did here. They're going to put $14 billion in share buybacks. Yeah. They already had $1.5 billion left on the prior authorization, so total right now, $15.5 billion.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I was gonna mention there. I think there's a couple of things that I like about this name, and if you feel that the run is over, I don't know. Going from $1 billion share buyback to $14 billion, that's fantastic, and that's what I wanted to bring up. I love it when a company is buying back shares. Now, as for new deals, they struck 5 new deals as well, too. 2 of them already with customers who already have agreements, just extending those, 3 brand new ones. So SanDisk, what you want to look for on the horizon, I think it's still pretty bright. And I think the opportunity to get back involved and go on another run here for SanDisk in these memory names is definitely there. But when the company is buying back shares, puts more power into the company's hand, and I most definitely like that.
All right, let's throw it back to you.
WDC is the second name that we're talking about here. Western Digital also posted earnings yesterday, so we're going to take a look. Earnings day one, revenue at $3.75 billion, which is up 44% year over year, ahead of the consensus of $3.69 billion. Adjusted earnings at $3.56 per share, which is more than double of $1.70 that was reported a year ago. Western Digital now expecting its first quarter revenue of $4.1 billion, plus or minus $100 million, with the midpoint a touch above analyst estimate of $4.04 billion. This is coming from data according to LSEG. It expects adjusted profit of $4 per share, plus or minus 15 cents, which is also above the estimates of $3.81. Rising memory prices have slowed consumer electronics replacement cycles. Also, while demand from AI data centers remains strong, there is also weakening demand in personal computer and consumer hard drive markets where the WDC also operates. So also to know is that the weakness in these smaller segments for Western Digital can offset some of the momentum from its core data center business, and WDC has said that customers are already negotiating AI storage contracts that run through the year 2031. Management has also highlighted that some of these agreements under the discussion will probably and potentially secure capacity for up to 5 years ahead of the AI infrastructure. For AI infrastructure customers, WDC is currently down 11% on the day.
All right, let's get right down to it here. Big difference between their GAAP EPS and their non-GAAP EPS. So it came in, one is at 821, the other one was at 356. So why is there such a large variance? Because half of the net income was driven by a non-operating tax valuation, which allowed reversals. And there were also some accounting adjustments that were tied to the SanDisk flash separation structure. Remember when they separated that? So that changed a little bit there. That's going to be a one-quarter issue, and I don't think it's going to be a pressing issue going forward. So, but there is a major variance there. And then it's interesting to look at, how much CapEx you have to expend, especially as a tech company or a growth company, versus how much you make back, because that ratio is super important. And this, guys, they spent $108 million in CapEx on the quarter, yet they were able to yield $1.28 billion in free cash flow. And I submit to you, the same thing that I said about SanDisk, it is their pricing power as opposed to the volume here that's really boosting that up for them. That's one of the biggest ratios that I've seen. And then, another kind of metric that they look at is how much, storage capacity they're selling. That grew 22% year over year. It is slowing down from prior quarters, so that's something to watch out for. And then, with that kind of money, you're going to obviously look to put some money back in the shareholders' hand, which is what they're going to do. They're going to give about 15 pennies per share in dividend. That was new. And then the guidance here, I think, maybe get some people to buy this tomorrow, maybe on the dip. So they guided Q1 for 2027. They're saying revenue is going to be up 42 to 49%. That's going to be about $4.1 billion. And I'm thinking about $4 in non-GAAP EPS, Joe.
It's funny. So I see a mixed bag here, all right? But what I was seeing, B of A, I believe, lowering the price target, UBS, Mizuho lowering the price target. So, I mean, what I find interesting is that with this report, you want to completely blow it out. But Sharif brought up something once again that I was just referring to in regards to SanDisk. Don't apologize, because I'm going to add to your point here, right? I think what we've seen, Sharif, over this quarter specifically, is a lot of the investment within one another has been paying off, right? And what am I getting at?
Okay.
So Western Digital had 1.7 million SanDisk shares.
Yeah.
They exchanged those for 4.8 million Western Digital shares, all right? So we're talking about removing liquidity. So what happens is that you put money, you can increase your dividend, and you can add more to the shareholder, all right? So instead of them having to dilute, they actually absorbed more shares. So instead of having to issue 773,000 new shares, they were able to repurchase an additional 2.3 million shares, all right? So the share buyback, the more money these companies create, the more they have the ability to buy back shares. And I think that only adds strength into the company at the end of the day.
Guys, LBGJ is opened, and it is just a rip. Into the high of the day now, 767. I ain't talking about the wide body aircraft either. Down it goes, Joey, into 669, Ozan. Now there's a buyer at 70. It's all over the map now. Candle high, 767, candle low, like 640, prior candle low on the 5. Oh, it's dropping down now big time all over the map here, man. So just wanted to get that out of the way because it was just absolute rip city. And as you guys can see, I'm short Gauze. Sorry, Gauzeman. Once you left the Jays, you're out. Down goes Gauzeman, Katina man. We're taking this one short. Katina man hooked me up with some shorts there, and we're that's Katina man going down. What's going on over there, Katina man? You're on camera, buddy. All right, there we go. So now we're looking for Gauzeman to continue to drop now that he's left us, Joey. Just get it, Katina man.
There's a couple other things here that I want to mention. So gross
sure.
margins holding up at 55 to 56%.
Yeah.
That's not bad whatsoever.
Okay. Just before we go back to Sia, YouGuy33, he asked me a question earlier. He's like, could you please discuss about leveraged ETFs like SND3? I don't personally know that ETF.
SND3?
I didn't know about that one, but we know about leverage, plenty of leveraged ETFs. It is in market low for swing trading, but what could be the ultimate risk? Well, I can just tell you two off the top of my head. One, you're leveraged, so you're taking on more risk, right? So, you know, if you get into the equity, your exposure is 1 times the movement. If you're getting into a leveraged play, it's 2 or 3, whatever the leverage is. And then 2, you need to look at the costs, right? So what we call about fees, because that causes ETF decay. So you need to be alert to that as well. And then some of them, don't the TQQs reset every day?
Not,
like
they rebalance, yeah, and then they'll
Rebalance,
split.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that part I don't know too much about. I gotta tell you the truth. That one I'm a little uneducated on. I definitely have to do a little bit more homework there. But there's plenty of risk if you take these ETF or if you hold these ETFs overnight. I mean, when we do look at these leverage ETFs, most of the time we're using them intraday, right? I personally have never held a leverage ETF overnight. I've held ETFs and I've had decay with some of those ETFs, but they were sort of, the decay was assuaged by the price accretion, by the capital appreciation. So that does help there. So you got to make sure, you know, you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's with respect to that. If there are any other drawbacks that I haven't mentioned, because I'm not by any means an expert in these ETFs, these leverage ETFs, please tag me or YouGuy33, kind of give us your 2 cents there. Lele, I covered this one earlier, but we're going to do it again because we didn't put it on the screen. She came in with 5 nice ones in the chat. We love her. The midday crew up $2,500. I can't even see it. Where'd it go, Tiff? Tiff took it away already, bro. Up $2,500, and she is like Ozan in Florida. She's in St. Pete's, 7 minutes from the beach. We're invited anytime, Joey.
Oh, really?
So we're going to have to take a bit of a vacation.
Take the vacation and head over.
Thank you very much, Leandra. Very kind and, of you as always. You're always doing it live and one of the better viewers we have.
Yeah, I might have to take you up on that offer.
Mm-hmm.
Careful.
Let's go to the next story, Sia.
Yeah, let's talk APP because the market is not loving the story at all. APP down over almost 18% on the day. EPS has come exactly in line with expectations of $3.76, not 1 cent more, not 1 cent less. Revenue has missed, we're going to go back to APP. I just somehow switched to SPY. EPS, so revenue has missed. Number is now $1.92 billion versus the consensus of $1.94 billion that had been expected. CEO Adam Foroughi has blamed the miss on the timing of its improvements to its advertising models, and the company continues to expand its AI-powered ad tech model into e-commerce. So in a note, on the call, he said to analysts, we've always managed this business with the goal of outperforming our own expectations, and this quarter, we fell short of that standard. And Piper Sandler analyst James Callahan felt the same because he did downgrade the stock to a neutral as of today, following the miss, and has slashed the price target pretty hugely here, $665 to $385. He said that And I quote, "We remain impressed by management, the business, and their market position, but we have more questions than answers on beat or race cadence from here and the move to the sideline." APP, like I said, currently getting closer to being down 18% on the day.
Thank you very much, Sia. Let's talk about this. Free cash flow drags, legs, I should say, net income. So what am I talking about? Well, GAAP net income rocketed up 55%. Fantastic. Look, you're talking about 1.27 billion in income, or you want to look at it from EPS, 376 diluted. However, if you have a 55% increase in your net income, why the hell is your cash flow only growing at 12% on the quarter? That's because there were apparently some issues in their accounts receivables. I don't know why this company allows some of their advertisers to pay 60, 90 days down the road, but they do, and that sort of creates a bit of a variance there in realized actual net profits on your books versus how much money you actually have in your hand because you haven't received it yet. So a bit of a divergence there, but I think that's probably a temporary state of affairs. How about the R&D costs? More than doubled on their AI compute ramp. So their R&D up 127% year over year. They're spending about $100 million, right? That's up from $44 million that they spent last year. They're scaling compute capacity and with the view to kind of scaling their Axon model iterations, and they're absorbing roughly about 10 pennies per share for every new dollar generated. So right off the bat, every new buck that comes in, 10 pennies right there has already been spent on CapEx, which is not bad given what we see the hyperscalers do, but this is not a hyperscaler either, so you can't view it from the same lens. E-commerce. So apparently, you know, that what they focus the most on are these sort of mobile games where they have a lot of their ads, but they're trying to diversify. So that diversification's, you know, helped a little bit with that bottom line. Just to give you an idea here, their busiest quarter is the Christmas quarter, Q4. This last quarter they had, which is Q2, they exceeded their best quarters, non-gaming advertising revenue in the current quarter. And this Q2 quarter is actually one of their slowest in the year. So they're really pushing past gaming. And if you're a shareholder, you like that. I guess the price action speaks a little differently. Also, we know that the SEC was investigating them for some of their billing practices. That investigation has been closed with no recommendation for prosecution. And that's all I have to say.
Now isn't the time to be falling short on digital ad revenue. Why? Because we're seeing some of the big corporations continuously climb it, and it's starting to be a stronghold in the fundamentals of these companies. But I don't believe it's all doom and gloom. I understand that you miss on revenue, but hey, you're still growing 53% year over year. I don't think that's horrible whatsoever. Now, the company reported net income of $1.27 billion for the second. That's 55%. That's up 55% from the same period last year. All right. Now, adjusted EBITDA representing a 57% increase as well, too. So you're still in those mid double digits, which is fantastic. You just miss on that one line, and then sure enough, the street punishes you. But in regards, like if you continue on this path, guide a little bit lower. I didn't see anything on the guidance. I don't know if anybody can clarify. If they didn't increase, that can also help to the reason why the stock is getting hit so heavy. So maybe what we do in Apple's instance is that you lower this bar, you lower your guidance, and then hopefully come the next quarter, you have the ability to beat because you're still growing. It's 53% revenue, 55% increase in EBITDA, and then also free cash flow slightly up as well too. So it's not horrible, to be honest, but just high expectations, and the street will punish you.
Let's talk DEO right now. Diageo, the company that makes Johnny Walker Scotch, whiskey, Don Julio Tequila, Smirnoff Vodka, has reported as of today restructuring costs. However, they've also said that are related to the savings program will be amounting to $1.2 billion. CEO of the company, Dave Lewis, has said in a statement, and I quote, "This new strategy executing with a new, more agile, competitive, and cost-effective operating model gives us confidence that we can return Diageo to a business consistently creating value for shareholders shareholders. The savings will be delivered over the years 2027 and 2028, with additional supply chain benefits that will continue in the later years. And its net sales for the year ending June 30th have declined 2% on an organic basis to $19.64 billion from the previous year. Meanwhile, adjusted operating profit is up 2% to $5.7 billion, largely due to cost savings, which have partly been offset by tariffs. So EPS has come in at 78.1 cents. And free cash flow that has increased to $463 million to $3.21 billion, supporting debt reduction. And the FIFA World Cup has also helped drive sales up of the ready-to-drink beverages and cocktails by 35.1%, which is largely driven by the launch of Diageo's Casamigos ready-to-serve cocktails during the World Cup. Also strong sales of Bulliet and Kettle One cocktails. So Citi analysts have said that they expect the results to quote-unquote drive the stock up, because although DEO's sales outlook was weaker than expected, its larger than expected cost-saving plan more than offsets the weaker revenue that has now resulted in higher than expected operating profits. Also, small upgrades to Diageo's 2027 EPS forecast, with that DEO is up little 5% over the day.
I got to tell you, I don't know too much about this company. I don't even think I've ever entered in the ticker. So I'm just going to read read out what I read right now, because I don't have any information personally from this. So 50% dividend cut. Looks like they have $20.5 billion in debt, so they're going to have to cut the divvy in order to pay down the debt. That probably annoys a lot of income investors who are in this specifically for the divvy, so possibly a little bit of a sell-off there. And there was also some weakness in Asia. It looks like China was responsible single-handedly for 1.5 percentage point drop on the revenue Assassino. So it looks like maybe they're not drinking as much in China, because I know they're not drinking as much here anymore. We keep talking about that, how certain elements of the population now kind of have given that up. And then there was about 600% surge in severance costs, $514 million from what I can read there, as they were doing some restructuring. So can't really say I know too much about this company yet.
No worries. Let's move on to something that you will and surely do know about. We're talking about Ford here and its newest announcement that it will be launching its Fathom. I really like this name, which is an all-electric mid-sized truck in the year 2027. Deliveries will also be starting as of next year. And this truck is priced at $28,350 starting at, so destination and delivery charges will be an additional $1,595, which will bring the price around $30,000, $29,945 to be precise. So it will mark that this is coming around $30,000 to mark that Ford had long promised in touting its upcoming electric vehicles. It's also said that pre-orders for the 5-passenger truck will start early of 2027. Customer deliveries not yet expected to begin until later 2027. And in addition to this, I was looking up if there's anything that I do find about how the model looks, exterior, interior. They have not released anything as of yet, so they've not revealed what the truck will look like. And its first vehicle produced, this will mark the first vehicle that's produced on the Universal Electric Vehicle platform. And they will also be availing customers with the EVAP option that is available in Canada as well, and will come with the Blue Cruise system, which is advanced hands-free driving assistance. So not a bad look there.
I don't know. See, is this cap? Is this fake? What is fake? This picture, because it says Fathom on the back here, so I'm not 100% sure if this is the real deal.
On their
It's not on their website, huh? Yeah, because this is Motor Trend, so usually Motor Trend, but you never really know. You never really know. I do like this, Sia, because it puts them in competition with this guy over here. Remember this one, Assassino? Slate. Remember, it's a Slate, like the totally customizable electric. I know it's not the same thing, but similar price points there. I think the Fathom, if you believe that this is the picture here, it's a quad cab, whereas the Slate's dual cab, obviously, so a lot bigger. But I do like that they have similar price points, and I think we do have demand for a cheaper pickup, and you're seeing that in Mexico. So a lot of Mexicans now are buying the BYD pickup, which is markedly lower in terms of price Now, it does have the supporting infrastructure coming from BYD. A lot of people do have qualms, of course, about buying Chinese cars. This is not an electrical car, though. So if you're worried about the privacy issues, this, that, and the other, I don't think it's connected. But hey, man, yeah, I don't mind this at all. Let's see if there is genuinely a market for these cheaper cost pickups, Joey, because, you know.
I mean, you already discontinued the Lightning, so I don't know.
Oh, my God, WLDS. Buvin, what did I tell you, man? But WLD, I told y'all, man, WLDS, if it took out 4, it was a flat top break. It just ripped into 469. Here comes $5, 480 high. My days. WLDS, I was trying to tell y'all. This one was a triple top into 4, and then on the third attempt, boom, here's 484. Here comes 5, WLDS on its horse. And let me tell you, the volume just came in because we're only doing about 1.9 million shares of volume, but watch out for a pullback, guys. Watch out for a pullback. This could flush pretty aggressively, and there's really no support until $4. So here comes 5, 496 high, very strong. Trade it carefully. Neil says LBG or JG halting down, PN down, BYH down, WLDS up. Sorry to interrupt. Oh, $5, Joey, it's ripping, bro. It's going to limit up, man. 512. Let's send it back to Sia.
Now, Fox Corporation, CEO of the company, Lachlan Murdoch has said that Fox will not negotiate a new NFL media rights deal until it's closer to the year 2030, when its current contract with the league will expire via an opt-out clause. So the NFL has had preliminary discussions with both Fox as well as CBS parent, PSKY, about reworking the deals to eliminate the league's opt-out clause and raise the cost of the live rights. So without this opt-out clause, Fox and Paramount's deals with the league will be extended till the end of the year's 2033 and 2034 season. So Murdoch has also said that those preliminary discussions have now led to Fox to decide that it will not be striking a new deal. And he's continued to say, quote, "In advance of the season, we've had a recent, thorough, and productive discussion with the league, and as a result, we will not be making any amendments to our existing contractual relationship, which extends to the completion of the 2029 season. We'll be ready to engage with the NFL on the opt-out seasons and beyond at a date closer to the 2030 season, which has been the customary timetable."
So apparently this all started after kind of the NFL pushed these legacy media holders like your Fox, your ABCs, your CBS to kind of reopen the deals and extract more, billions more, in fact, in higher rates. To me, I think they were just jealous of the NBA who got, a fresh deal. So Fox, in response to kind of the pressure by the NFL, they lobbied the Trump administration, who they obviously have connections with, and that sparked an FCC and a DOJ investigation into how the NFL streaming exclusivity practices are, and that kind of forced the league to abandon these early negotiations. So it's an interesting take here, but I think that this is just a temporary state of affairs until, the contracts run organically, and at which time they'll be up for renewal. And I'm pretty sure they're probably going to have a sweeter deal than the NBA. What do you think?
So what I've seen here is, it's not bad, right? Like digital ad numbers are pretty good so far with this 78%. Obviously, a lot of that had to do with the World Cup. Now they're also they're looking to increase their agreement with Roku TV as well. So planned $22 billion cash and stock acquisition of Roku is aimed to expand its streaming presence on connected TV and reducing reliance on traditional cable audiences. Now we know with the transition, everyone stops watching those linear channels. It's all about streaming, and more streaming. Now, if you're not going to extend that NFL deal, listen, these sports deals are really, really expensive. And a lot of that costs these guys their free cash flow. But something that I've been talking about for quite some time, $867 million for the quarter. But we're also talking about buying back stock. The company repurchased approximately 50 million of its Class A common and 50 million of its Class B common stock. Fox also recorded 2.8 million signups in June. So that's not horrible. Its strongest month since the launch, more than double the signups generated during the NFL playoffs in January. Now, I do believe a lot of that has to do with the World Cup. But when your digital ad revenue is climbing at 78%, Sharif, I don't think you're going to complain too much.
You're not going to complain. Joey, you feel good about yourself there. Well, maybe you can complain. Who's going to stop you?
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, when there's money in the pocket as well, too, climbing 78%. I mean, it's nothing crazy, $1.9 billion, but it's better than nothing. And so if you eliminate what that was, it's nothing hefty, but that can put some dent in some cups for sure.
All right. All right, let's, guys, I just want to mention a couple of things over here. WLDS, I mean, we were yelling about this one, but this is the prototypical example of why I have to constantly say on, maybe a weekly or monthly basis, whatever it is, watch out for these small caps. They are not your friends. You can use them, but don't stick around with them too much. 560 high, right back down to 4. So a bit of a tough one there. I'm also seeing CELZ about to take out the high here. So now this feels very much like an ascending wedge pattern on CELZ. Oh my Lanta, this looks like a very good setup. Bovin, what do you think about this, brother? Because this is screaming flat top break here, at least to me it is. It doesn't have to be at an exact level either, okay? I'm thinking 155 to 16. I don't care if the high of the day is 175. It spent like no time there. And this ascending wedge pattern is the real deal. And, you haven't gotten way too much bamboozlement. It comes in, it holds prior area low, it rejects prior area high. For how long, though? So I'm thinking about, possibly moseying into CELZ over here, CELZ, because it looks pretty good here with this ascending wedge pattern. So I'm just going to keep tight on that. We'll keep you guys updated, and we're going to send it to Sia for the next story.
Let's take a look at QSR. They also reported EPS of $1.07 per share, beating estimates of $1.03 per share. Quarterly report now represents a surprise of 3.88%. Over the last 4 quarters, the company has surpassed its EPS estimate 4 times. The company has posted revenues of $2.52 billion for the quarter ended June 2026. That surpasses the Zacks consensus estimate by 0.61%. Current consensus EPS estimate is $1.11 on $2.52 billion in revenues for the coming quarter and $4.04 on $9.81 billion in revenues for the current fiscal year. Burger King U.S. same-store sales have surged 8.5%, which has been fueled by the quote-unquote Reclaim the Flame turnaround and kitchen modernization. Tim Hortons in Canada growth has slowed with nearly flat comparable sales. And Popeyes in U.S. has faced a slump in sales, with comparable sales that are down 5.1% and segment revenue that has dropped to $199 million. Finally, international sales have maintained a steady operational strength to offset domestic brand soft spots. QSR is currently down close to 2% on the day.
This is interesting, Sia, because you mentioned that Popeyes didn't do that well. Tim Hortons a little bit flat. And that makes sense when you look at their organic growth. They have an annual target of 8%. 6.7 was as good as they could do. There's going to be reasons because the comps for Popeyes down 5.1% year over year, even though Tim Hortons was positive barely 0.1%. What's going on there, Timmy's? And you also have a non-GAAP EPS distortion. You guys know I'm a stickler for that because it's non-GAAP. It's like you're not even putting any money in your pocket, man. Let's be serious. Where's the actual money? And that's, of course, going to be the GAAP EPS. So GAAP diluted net income up 150%, 145 a share, whatever you want to call it. But that was heavily inflated by $175 million net swing in operating line items, about $26 million in operating income, and about $149 million charge in Q2 of last year of 2025. Rather than any just pure core operational expansion. So you're seeing some distortions in the accounting as well as some lag there in the year-over-year comps.
Yeah, I mean, as for Tim Hortons, we know that they're kind of going through a restructuring as well, too, from a hiring standpoint.
Good call, Joey.
Right, so, I mean, you're going to have some turbulence within that. But
tell them why.
Well, I mean, they're putting it back into trying to, anyways, put the jobs back into the youth, the high employment.
How about we hire Canadians?
Well,
how about we hire Canadians?
Well, that would be the ideal thing. Yeah. But unfortunately, like what we see in this restaurant business, and you can see it across the board, especially within Tim Hortons, is that like, hey, it lost its way a little bit over the past, I would say, half a decade, and they're just trying to get back to things. Now, what I think they should do is they should take somewhat of a Starbucks route. You want to condense that menu and stick to what you're really good at. All right. So, anyways, aside from that, Firehouse Subs. What's up? Delivery same store growth 7.5%. And well, growth per net restaurant up 8.1% as well too. Other than that, Popeyes isn't doing so good, Sharif. I wonder why Popeyes isn't performing very well. Does it have? Well, I was gonna say, does it have to be with the GLPs? Maybe people looking for healthier alternatives, right? Because we're down 5.2%. As you mentioned, and then also system-wide sales falling 3.3%. So people eliminating the highly addictive oil out of their diet. And I think Popeyes can get hit pretty heavily with that. Burger King, I mean, up 8.6%. But I think Burger King's presence, what I do believe is in Canada specifically, Burger King's presence slowly starting to lose, or I shouldn't say slowly. I think it's really starting to lose its jib.
I
You don't see new ones popping up, right? And whatever is established is getting shut down. So yeah, a little bit tougher. Hey, listen, we've seen it within PepsiCo.
You don't have the right to be in business. The market determines whether you're in business.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't have a high quality product, you'll pay for it. But we've seen this within PepsiCo and Coca-Cola. These unhealthier alternatives most definitely getting hit pretty hard. And I think some of these names within what is the ticker there? QSR restaurant brands, definitely getting hit for sure.
All right, Bovin, we're in. 152, here's 164, Bovin. This is the local area high. We're looking for 169 next. Big seller here at 6.5 and 6.4, can't shake the seller. So I have a couple of dip trades here on CELZ, Zed, whatever, that went unfilled, so we're not going with the biggest position, but this is the best it's looked in a hot minute. But I do want to remind you guys that this one has a tendency, a propensity, a history of reverting. Just take a look at the candle there on the 5-minute chart at 11 o'clock. That's the high of the day into 175, and look at it bleed all the way back down. Does it hold? Oh, my Lanta, we're out. Let's see if we can pick up some at this area here. Looking for a hold up above prior area high. If we have a 140 hold, I can stay in. If it loses 140, you're out, man. A 141 limit down. 141 limit down on this monster. Unreal. Just as I was saying, too, like it has a propensity to turn around. It turns around on me. All right. So here we go. We're still profitable on it, but I want to see if the area is going to hold up. I'm in. Let's go ahead and give this one the old college try. Right back up into 150. We're looking for 152 now. Oops. Here we go. Let's go ahead and throw that, and then we're looking for 155. Let's see if we can get these bad boys. So we get in, we get right back out, loses 140, it loses me as a trader. It really is that simple. So I'm going to give this one the old college try because it's a bamboozler in chief. WLDS as well, continuing to drop here. So be careful with that one. Where is that screen? Sorry. WLDS, excuse me, continuing to drop. I was keeping an eye on this one for a VWAP hold, but it didn't really hold VWAP, so I'm not gonna try my hand at this one again. But something to think about there. Vault Builder, how much does my Lanta sponsorship pay? I don't know, brother. I think it's free, man. We've been giving it free. Advertising for a long. It's your boy Joey, man. He's the one that got me saying it there.
Oh, my Lanta?
That's you there, bro.
Yeah, it was my great grandma used to say it.
Did she actually?
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
That's nice, bro. Yeah, so that nobody can tell us not to say it.
Yeah. Try super chatting and tell us not to say it.
Yeah.
remember everybody said
that guy,
you're not
bro.
Allowed saying down.
Just rub me the wrong way when you dictate to me, especially if I don't know who you are. Like, and if you're introducing yourself as a newer viewer and you're like telling me not to say something and like trying to instruct me, it just rubs me the wrong way. But whatever. I love you, Gina, always. 2 in the super chat. Hey, what do you guys think about our cat?
What do you think? Well, I think that's you though, Sharif. I'll do some technicals and you tell me how you feel about some of these drone plays.
The Ram cat. Where's she at?
She's here, man. She's doing her thing. She's working hard, man. Leave her alone.
She's working hard?
Busy. Yeah.
Cats. She's not here?
She's not here. I swear I seen her. I seen her walk in the. She was. Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, sorry for me. Yeah, get it, Ram. Yeah, don't forget. Who knows, man? Might come a little bit early, but here it is. Our cat holdings. Listen, you go on this is the weekly, you go on a nice little run, and then sure enough, you do give back a little bit. getting cut in half there, Katina Man, 62% from peak to trough there.
Oh.
Now listen, if you like the drone play, then I don't know if this is the time to get in now with the war cooling down. If you see an escalation in global conflicts, then maybe that'd be a good opportunity to get involved in some RCAT.
Yeah, good point. Is that the drone company?
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a drone company.
Yeah, they're working drones, right?
Yeah, man. Look, I gotta tell you, you don't have to be a military guy to see what's happening in the world, and drones are, they're going to be the front lines for a while, and I think they're going to come in all sorts of variants. And that's why I love the AV look from Neil. I mean, obviously there's a price there that you got to make sure you're in at, but it's just, to me, there's no question about it that the future of warfare is like eVTOLs and drones and that kind of thing. Whether or not I like it, it's going to happen. So we might as well make some money off it. A couple of minutes left.
See, this is what we have to do, Sharif, when everything gets deleted. See, that's what made me bring this back up, because now I got to add my overview and my fundamentals page.
I'm sorry, brother.
Forgetting. Don't apologize. There's not apologize, man. We just had to.
I tried to help him today, but it's just like, it's so frustrating. Like he had his settings saved, and we went to the restore feature to restore all the settings, and it just won't do it. It just like blocks him from restoring it. So
and these guys are based
frustrating.
in Puerto Rico. All right.
Are they actually in Puerto Rico?
Provide our products.
Okay.
It's in drone industry. Dude, you see those videos of Ukraine with just like the netting over like the streets and everything?
Do you see what Ukraine is doing?
No.
They've got 3 different variants of long-range missiles, and they're accurate, and they're hitting Russia deep inside Russia now.
Yeah.
Now, the Russians are responding. They're hitting Ukraine, Kyiv pretty hard, but like, we never saw the Ukrainians able to reach the refineries. We never saw the Ukrainians. Dude, they have like 1,700 miles of range, some of these. Like, the war's changing a little bit over there. I'm not saying that there's parity, but the Ukrainians are, they're doing some stuff right now.
Does this become a conflict that goes on for a decade? Like a Middle Eastern conflict that is just forever ongoing.
Dude, we're 4.5 years deep.
Well, that's what I've been saying for a while. Like, everyone thought it was going to be over relatively quick. That's not necessarily the case.
Yeah. Wild berries facilities are disappearing. They're getting hit. If you don't know what wild berries is, it's essentially the Russian equivalent of Amazon. It's like next day shipping, just any kind of retail product you want. And that's why I was saying, I feel if the war between the United States and Iran continues, the Iranians start targeting commercial infrastructure in the same way that the Ukrainians are doing it to the Russians. And so I think that poses a major problem. Imagine some of these ships getting hit, right?
They already have. And they didn't AWS got hit.
They did some of the
AWS.
Where was it? Kuwait or
somewhere along those lines, right? So that I think that's kind of the new narrative here is attack infrastructure. I think that's,
it's ugly, man. Yeah. No one ever said war was pretty, bro.
Definitely not.
Ugly as hell, man. I see that Ukrainian targets Russian civilians on the beaches vacationing this week. I can't vouch for that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just didn't read that report myself. I'm just talking about the energy infrastructure and wild berries, because that's all I know.
Oh, the drone the Ukrainian drone hit a Russian beach.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I think 4 or 5 dead civilians hit there.
It's ugly, dog. It's ugly. But it's 2 o'clock. It's 2:01. Yeah. So it's time for me and Joey to jettison, guys. I'm in CELZ here. It doesn't show up Assassino, but I'm looking for a move above 150. There's a pretty convicted 150 seller. We saw this spike up into 165. It held trend though. I really do mean that. It continued to hold the higher lows, which forced me right back into it. And if it fails here, this area low, I'm talking about 142, I'm out. So I've got 148. We're going to risk 6 pennies here to hopefully make a little bit more. We'll see exactly what we get on that. But for Joey and I'll send you off to the big boys, Neil and Sean. We'll be back, same bat time, same bat channel. Get them, boys.
MMA fighter. Yo,
what up, everybody?